Yes, very good afternoon. Welcome to round 12 of the Gippsland League. It is Moe and Wonthaggi from 10 Summoner Reserve in Moe. This game is about to get underway. Both sides are all ready. The ruck duties will be Lachlan Scott of Wonthaggi up against Simon Harris, and the umpire gets things underway. It was actually Morrow in the middle of the ground for the Lions to start things off. Harris has gone forward. Daryl Cooling, Rob Popplestone and Nick Boxalicino with you this afternoon. Again, the umpire will do the secondary stoppage. Morrow got a handle on it, and a free kick will go Moe's way. It will be in the way of Morrow. Quickly hands off to Seppi. His left foot kick goes towards half forward. Jacks was the target, just at the toes. Quickly came in there, was Little. Lost it in the handle. The umpire said play on. Quick kick around the body. This one was from Lachlan Reese, but it was marked on the last line of defence from Shannon Bray.
So Shannon Bray comes grandstand side, long leg, two, finds his targeting. Big Lachlan Scott feeds it off well. Wonthaggi early running nicely. Come grandstand side, but a massive spoil. Good work by Declan Kilty, who found the boundary courtesy of a good punch to stop the mark being taken by Troy Harley. So there'll be a boundary throwing. Grandstand side in front of a healthy crowd. Good day. First minute of a good game.
Boxers doing the stats this afternoon. Already missed the first free kick of the game to Moe.
Did I miss it? Yeah. Okay.
As Morrow tapped this one down. Grady Coxedge was the one who handled into some open space. Here's a quick twisting and turning out of there was Lucas Fry. Gets it towards half forward. Over the top ahead of Fergus O'Connor. Sim, just little toe post. Here's Claridge. Hayden Prestige it is. Has a flying shot at goal. And to get things underway, Hayden Prestige puts it through for the Lions.
What an amazing start there too by the Moe Lions. It's incredible the way the tempo of the game at the moment. Like already, it's like finals like through the midfield and that stoppage goal then through to Moe. They just squared it up. Found it. Harry Sims' little toe poke forward was incredible as well. So a great start there to Moe.
So the scoreboard courtesy of it.
Of LV Forklift scoreboard.
And it is Wackanoisin.
I can't say Wackanoisin, but anyway, it's one straight goal, Moe. Wonthaggi yet to score.
Yeah, you get the feeling that both sides are ready to present some of their best football this afternoon, don't you? Finals closing in a couple of months' time, and the position that you hold come finals time is absolutely crucial as Seppi comes out of the centre square here at Ted Summoner Reserves and finds Woods left half forward flank, turns back on the non-preferred right, looking, searching, takes a bounce, and in fact the umpire said you ran too far. He just had no options as Wonthaggi closed him and a few others down, and Joel Little will take the kick. Right half-back flank for Wonthaggi, goes along the line. Moe got the sit, and a big punch again by Declan Kilty. Again finds the boundary line. A boundary throwing to take place, Nick.
Love that matchup too. Kilty's taken Harley as well, and it's twice now that he's prepared to come off his man and go the big spoil as well. That's going to be a fantastic matchup for the afternoon.
So ball comes back in. Morrow in the front spot. Working hard there was Scott for Wonthaggi. At ground level, Blair got tackled by two Lions. One being getting up at the bottom of that pack, Lucas Ferrado. So he'll probably run with him for a bit of the day. And the stoppage goes up again, wasting no time, that ruck duty. Morrow got a handle on it. Here's Blair. This is Jared. Kicks inside, top of the 50. Just at the toes there of the big leading forward in Staley. Tried to shrug a tackle there was Seppi. He started busy early and he's won himself a free kick. It was against Aidan Lindsay.
So early minutes of this first quarter, Seppi picks up his third kick already, comes grandstand, needed to be pinpoint perfect, and guess what? It was. It found Fry, left half back for Moe to go inboard using the angles. Well, they found, but couldn't hold it was Coxedge at the moment.
Good
now, what should have been a fairly straightforward surge forward has become into a bit of a problem. Seppi gets another touch, feeds off to Morrow. Morrow taps it forward. They gain metres, but they need more than that to put some pressure on Wonthaggi, and eventually the ball finds itself over the boundary line once more, grandstand side. You'd expect the crowd starting to get into this game as well, because what's been presented is some really good football.
I'll tell you what, word was, I haven't seen Wonthaggi since round one, and the physicality of Wonthaggi is certainly getting talked about amongst other clubs, and you can just tell early on how physical they are in the contest. But Moe are standing up to it at the moment. They're winning the contest and they're winning the outside at the moment. Here's Baldy from this one. Oh, another big, strong tackle. That was from Murray. And the called holding the ball, and Wonthaggi are away. Little drives it towards half forward. Harley on a long lead in front of Reynolds. Couldn't mark it. Comes to ground level, tried to crash his way through with the helmet. Looked to be, was it Tom Davey there, I think it is, for Wonthaggi. Got held up top of the 50, and Essler will waste no time and again throw it up
4.5 minutes gone, first quarter. Wonthaggi into attack, but trailing by just the goal. They've got the numbers, Moe. They get the free kick. Play on to call. Blair threads his way through, finds a handball. Standing start at goals. It was taken by the forwarding Jacob Thomas. Couldn't find the target. Goes through for a... it's a free kick, is it, to Declan Kelsey, who's been pretty busy also. So he was being held. The man of the mark at the moment for Wonthaggi is Troy Harley. He was the culprit. So Kelty will get the free kick.
Moe 1 straight 6. Wonthaggi yet to score.
As Kelty goes towards the outer side of the ground, right half-back flank, and he finds a target. He can't, but at ground level, Sims was nice, feeds it off, and Moe, well, they should have cleared defensive 50. They haven't. The kick was smothered. Good pressure from a number of players, and Harry Sim comes in, gets one high. When he's busy and he's got his mind in the game, he can turn a game very quickly. He plays on very quickly towards right half-forward flank, and he finds a teammate in Lachlan Reese. He can't. Reese was outnumbered 2-1, but all three players are beaten by the boundary. So there'll be a boundary throw in right half-forward flank. Moe kicking to the left of your radio and leading at the 5 3/4 minute mark of the first quarter. 1 goal straight to no score.
Free kicks are already 4-1 Moe's way.
Well, from that stoppage, Morrow quickly grabbed it, got ball to boot, goes over the top. Harris was back there. Wonthaggi got some numbers, though, clearing it out there to the wing area, to Harley on a long searching lead. No over-the-shoulder call. Here's Wood, who rove this one. Left foot into the hot spot. Lockie Reese will mark directly in front, some 25 metres out from goal, and he'll go back, look to get Moe's second goal of the afternoon.
Would you call that a contested mark inside 50, Daryl?
No, it was all on his own box. Contested generally when there's an opponent with him.
I didn't see it. I had my head down, writing numbers down again, so sorry about that.
Number 2 stats man in the business, Nick Boxalacino, with you this afternoon for Carpet Country. He's also on the around the grounds duties. We'll get to those in a moment.
Oh, God. Hang on.
As Lachlan Reese directly in front. They lead by 6 to the Lions. He comes in 30 metres out and pops it over the goal umpire's head. We've got 2 to kick things off.
And on the LV Falkley scoreboard, it is Moe 2 straight goals, 12. Wonthaggi are yet to score.
So a nice dream start in front of a home crowd for the home team in Moe. Obviously, both sides just lost the one game this year. They're both trailing by percentage. Lee and Gaffer, who sit on top of the table, 7 or 8 games to go to round out the home and away season. The result of this one, absolutely crucial for a top 3 finish, with a couple of sides just below looking to claw their way up above the eventual loser of this game.
So Morrow and Scott again. Morrow got a handle on it. He's won every ruck duty. Another free kick will go in the way of Moe, this time to Ferrado. Right in the middle of the ground. Being called to come to the near side of fraction. As Ferrado looks up, Jax is his target. Well, in the front spot, Jax then hovers and then can't quite mark it. Good little handball out the back there was from Flynn Anderson from Wonthaggi. Twisting and turning through some stoppages little. Towards Darcy Brosnan, couldn't mark it. Coming the other way there was Scott Van Dyke, trying to get a handball over the top to Ferrado. He got tumbled out from Davey. Nice little one to Blair, over to his brother in Jared Blair. Inside forward 50, beautiful kick to Harley. Top of the square, the Blair brothers in unison, and a beautiful kick by Jared. As Troy Harley took the mark, top of the square. That was very clinical from that stoppage, and Ferrado still got up a little bit sore after the strong tackling.
Just a goal on transition. You know, Harley had Kilty lagging right behind him.
So Harley directly in front, only 30 metres out, should put this one through. And the first for Wonthaggi. It's a hot start, and it's a beautiful one for Troy.
And on the LV Falkley scoreboard, it is now Wonthaggi with their first goal of the afternoon. So Moe 2 straight 12 to Wonthaggi 1 goal 6.
It was interesting to note that Kelty left Harley just moments before because Moe had possession up around the wing area, but the turnover left him high and dry, and Harley with plenty of space to make the most of it, and he made them pay. It's the reason that the turnovers can be so devastating to a side.
And that's a score from turnover too, wasn't it, Box? You got that down?
I don't know.
Here from Popplestone.
I'm stuffed.
Here we go, ball back in the centre of Ted Summerton reserve as the big man, Jacob Thomas, competes hard. Can he find Blair? He can. Here they go. Geez, they feed it off nicely. There's a good understanding. Blair lays a good tackle. Moe come through with the ball. That's the crucial thing. Maybe a tackle without the ball on that occasion will go against Moe and end up in the arms of Flynn Anderson at centre half back through. He looks down the corridor. Can he find a teammate? He can. Yeah, nice neat kick. Finds Josh Bates. Plays on quickly. And off they go through Joel Little. Kicks from the centre square towards right half forward flank. Kelty punches the ball and then gets the handball as a result of that. And on the end of a good piece of play was Lachlan McLeod, who clears the defensive area, but it looks as though Darcy Brosnan is the first player there. But he too is beaten to it by the boundary. Just 55 metres out from Wonthaggi's goals. They're trailing by one straight quick. And we've played nearly 10 minutes of this first quarter. There'll be a boundary throw-in, as I say, left half forward flank for Wonthaggi.
So a shallow throw-in. Harris took the ruck duties. Quick kick, though, from Mitch Hayes of Wonthaggi. Goes to the top of the 50. Couldn't quite mark it there. Quickly done was from Tom Davey. And he's had a flying shot. It bounces in the square, but then just takes a little left turn. And we've got a minor score on the Gippsland Wackernoyson on the Latrobe Valley Forklift scoreboard this afternoon. Mini excavators, dingoes and telehanders and more. On 5176 2644, Moe a 2 straight and Wonthaggi a 1-1.
As Prestige brings the ball back into play, nice neat kick too, finds a big guy in Jacks, who's a long way up the ground and kicks from defensive 50 towards outer side wing, but turns it over. And unfortunately for him, it falls in the arms of a Wonthaggi opponent who uses the ball much better. And now all of a sudden the Power turn defence into attack and get within 40. But guess what? Free kick. In fact, maybe even a 50-metre penalty will be paid Wonthaggi's way. And it's a decent 52, if you don't mind me saying. I reckon it's something like 75. And I reckon Aidan Lindsay possibly could be the player that benefits from that. It, in fact, is Jordan Staley. Jordan Staley. Well, he was outer side wing, no word of a lie, outer side wing. He'll now kick from 25 metres out on the slightest of angles and has got the chance to put Power in front for the first time in his first quarter. And guess what? He's missed to the right. An opportunity got begging for the Power, but they edge a little bit closer. Nick Lucino.
Yep, and on the LV Forklift scoreboard, it is now Wonthaggi 1-2-8. They trail Moe 2 straight goals, 12.
Good work, Box. Thank you for that.
I'm stuffed already. I'll be honest.
Maslin to bring in the ball for Moe. He goes to the outer side again. They've got some numbers out there, do Wonthaggi, and on this occasion it looks to be Bates on that far side of the ground. Turns around, drilling kick again to Jordan Staley. Wow. And it's a mark all over the shoulder, and he'll have another shot on goal, this time out a little bit further out and a little bit tighter angle. So 45 metres, 45-degree angle.
That's their third mark inside 50, Scud, too, and they just seem to be getting on top now, their midfield, because Moe did start really well and with Seppi and others, but slowly it pegged away Wonthaggi.
So in he comes from 45, right foot. Has he corrected the error before? He's corrected it too much. And we've got another minor score. So you can hire from LV Forklifts or the Gippsland Wackernoyson team. Scissor lifts, booms and forklifts. Sees Wonthaggi 139, trailing Moe 2 straight.
So here we go, Moe to bring the ball back into play. Towards the outer side, it hasn't worked on a couple of occasions, but they'll try third time lucky. It goes around about right half, back flank. Now they've got the numbers. Sims, quick handball, and off they go. A kick from outer side wing towards centre half forward. It's all Wonthaggi, and it's Shannon Bray, who marks flying solo off the half back line. Got the opportunity to go left or right. He goes left. Doesn't gain ground, but just gives a bit of width to their play, but now they've tied themselves up along the outer side boundary line. They come in, searching kick. I reckon's found Josh Bates just towards the outer side wing for the Power. Goes along the line from left half back flank to left half forward. Punch forward. And again, Sims ground level. He's been busy and good. Nice kick. Can he find a teammate there? No, he can't. And it will spill over the boundary line again. So basically outer side wing. 13 and a half minutes gone, first quarter. Moe 2 straight goals and Wonthaggi 1 goal, 3-9.
So Scott and Harris are the two ruckmen, and they both sort of work each other underneath it. Ball lands on the ground, then they try and jump on it. There'll be a free kick paid here, Boxer, and it's going to go in the way of Seppi. And he's a left footer, so he'll be able to wheel and go towards the inside of the ground. He's on the far side here at Moe. They go towards the big target in Jacks. He's going to win himself a free kick. No, it's going to go against him in the end. And it'll be Stephen Scott for the Power. So he's in the defensive back pocket. Moe are kicking towards the city end of the ground here. And the Wonthaggi side up towards South Street end of the ground is Scott kicks it down a big, high, nice mark from Jack Blair. He didn't quite complete the mark. He got called to play on and had to handball it, but I would have paid that one every day of the week as Jack Blair got high. And we'll have a boundary throw in on the far side, true centre wing. as we've travelled 14 and a half minutes into this first quarter for Gippsland, Wackanoyson and Latrobe Valley Forklift sees Moe 2 straight 12, Wonthaggi a 139. The margin sits at 3 points, and from the stoppage, here they go again, Seppi.
So Seppi now takes a bounce, looks up, and might consider 2 bounces. No, dances around and then gives off, and off they go. Standing start from just outside 50. Prestige, top of the square. 2-on-1. Outnumbered was the big key forward for Moe in Christian Jackson. It goes over the boundary line, just metres from Moe's goals. The home side leading by 3 points, 15 minutes in first quarter. So when they have a little bit of room to wiggle this Moe side, they look pretty good. Just need to find a winner on the lead, I reckon. The ball taken out of the ruck, taken nicely to it was by Reese. Can he get a clear kick out of the cart? It spills out. Wonthaggi jump on, gain valuable meterage through Shannon Bray's kick towards the boundary line, and it finds that boundary line just near the intersection of the forward 50 and boundary lines. Boundary throw in to take place. We're 45 metres from Moe's goals.
They currently lead by 3 points, the Lions. Front spot there was Scott, tapped it down. Moe got some numbers through Wood. It was tackled by 2 power defenders. Quick hands from Murray. Tried to release a teammate there in Jones, and he just got one over the shoulder. So a free kick will go to Lockie Jones. He's on his defensive 50, comes inboard, and he's found Mitch Hayes. Centre half back sort of area, goes lateral. No, he decided to go to the wing area, and out there was Tim Knowles. Lets it bounce. He's on the wing, but he's got some space. Chips it over the top, looking for Davey. However, the kick missed the target, and it bounced over for a boundary throw-in.
Moe have just made some changes too, Scott. They had Harris and Morrow starting out of the goal square, and Jack's playing higher up the ground. They've gone the other way now, where they're prepared to put Jacks into the goal square, and Morrow's come off the ground for a rest.
Shallow throw-in for the boundary. We'll do this one again. 16 and a half minutes gone. First quarter action on TRFM for you. This one goes over the 2 ruckman head. So they adjusted. The umpire adjusted, and the umpire now, Steve Esler, will just wait for everyone to jump on top of each other and ball it up. Half-back flank for the Lions. The power of building again. And Scott takes the ruck duty.
He does too. Left half forward flank, and off they go. Blair, quick left foot kick, and he finds a teammate. He can't punch to ground. They've got numbers around the ball, Moe, and they're going to ease the pressure through Kildy. Gains 60 or 70 metres and goes left half forward flank before Tim Knowles picks up. But his kick in forward can't go any further than big Benning Maslin, who changes direction. They want to come grandstand side. They want to do it through Scott Van Dyke, but Wonthaggi have been quick to close the gap. So Van Dyke goes straight down the guts, to use an old-fashioned term, and finds his teammate in Lucas Ferrado, and off they go. From right half-back flank, they go towards right half-forward flank, but they're falling down here because what should have been a clean piece of play has become a one-on-one contest.
Free kick.
They get the free kick, and it goes Mitch Stanlake's way. So Moe fortuitously still keep possession. They've got a little bit of room to move here too. Sims, who's been busy. He's been very good.
You better drop that S, Poppy.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Just Sim.
Goes towards forward 50 and a good punch to ground. And they've got the numbers to the fall of the ball. They've done that nicely today. Shannon Bray fed it off, and they fed it off to Steve Scott, who can he find a teammate he can. Picked up beautifully, slips like, but gave it up just as quickly. Speaker Tom Davey could cost a goal because dancing around one was Cook, who was dispossessed. And a kick off the ground now makes a one-on-one contest where Kildy hits the ball hard, and in doing so almost caused a turnover, but hasn't. And now Moe through the big man in Charlie Reynolds has run over the top of the ball and took the man and maybe assisted Moe in keeping possession.
Well, Grady Coxhead was the one on the end of it. He's on the wing area, looks to go laterally, went short in the end of Maslin. He lowers the eyes to centre half forward, looking for Manuel. Couldn't mark it, and good contest again. Manuel and Bray went hard at it. This game of football is absolutely red hot at the moment, and the Lions are standing up to the power pressure. Here's Prestige, handballs to open space. Tripping over there was Stanlake, though, in the ball. They jump on top of him, and we're going to ball up directly in front. Boys, this is the best game we have seen this season, bar none so far.
A long way too, like the speed, the tempo, the intensity of both sides. And right now, Wonthaggi and Moe are playing some, as Scud suggested, some of the best footy we've seen probably beyond this year, even as big Will Lenahan kicks from outside a defensive 50 and finds the boundary.
A free kick, I think, Pop. Free kick against Wonthaggi will go to Scott Van Dyke, I believe.
Okay, so
just a holding as it sort of trickled towards the bounds. He didn't need to do it, Wonthaggi, then in that occasion, but giving away the free kick was Blair.
Yeah, when there's not much in a game.
Little moments, isn't it?
Little moments can make a big difference. So here we go, Moe. Kick towards the pocket in what appeared to be a set player, but not sure that it came off because the big guy who's been good is Shannon Bray, brought the ball to the ground. And again, they've got runners from defensive 50 towards the outer side of the ground. It was Fergus O'Connor who cleared the area for the visitors. And, in fact, he may have cleared the area too well. It's gone out of bounds on the full, and Moe will get the free kick.
Well, they will. It's that man we spoke about a couple of moments ago in Scott Van Dyke on the far side. They do lead at the moment, still by 3 points to Lions. Got called to play on, steps around the tackler there in Murray. He had to go back to Renitz by hand. He was under a bit of pressure and kicked it, just looking for a little bit of hope, and it bounced across for a boundary throw.
Hit nail on the head about the pressure from Wonthaggi. They both brought the pressure, but Wonthaggi's pressure when Moe's got the ball is just incredible. And the pace of the game is finals-like. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. And it's low scoring, but this will break open at some point. It's whichever team won't be able to cop the pressure or sustain the pressure coming the other way. So can Wonthaggi keep it up? Can Moe sustain it and really cop it and run the other direction?
And the umpires have really taken control of the game as well, too. There's been 13 free kicks so far in this quarter so far.
Insightful. Thanks very much to Carpet Country, helping dreams become a reality since 1981. You are, Boxer. And the ball comes back into play. Quick kick around the body there was from Hayes. Got towards the boundary line, trying to crash his way through. Looked to be Lachlan McLeod, and he'll end up giving it back to the field umpire for another ball up.
And to only have one contested mark for the quarter so far, you can just tell the pace of the game has just been playing from end to end.
And that's coming through hard work. They're really working hard to find space, aren't they? Really working hard to find space. And that hard work continues right now through Moe. And the player with the ball was Matty Pearce, who goes inboard, kicks within 30 metres, follow the ball. Nice done. Harry Sim around the corner. Could be an absolute beauty. It's not, just offline. Roved it beautifully as a player of his quality should, and finished it almost as well. But they do extend that margin.
And on the LV forklift scoreboard, it is Moe 2-1-13. They lead Wonthaggi 1-3-9.
Bray with a defensive kick is a beautiful one. Not much room to hit the target. He found Jones, who comes in board, turns it over. There's Poppy getting a little bit excited, but Wonthaggi up to it. Losing the football, though, was Lenihan. They're under pressure. Stanlake gave it out the back to Ferrado. Hits the target. Baldy gives it across to Manuel. Kicks around the body. It bounces. Jax is there. One hand couldn't get it. Over it goes in front of the scoreboard. 15 metres around from Moe's goal for a boundary throw-in. Well, big risk reward for Jones's inboard kick. Unfortunately, on this occasion, he missed the target.
It's just that perceived pressure as well, too, Scud.
So boundary throw-in, dangerous spot for the power defenders. Blair tried to go with one hand, couldn't do it. Picked up by Jax. His kick was smothered. Wonthaggi just blazed away out of their defensive half. Blair's there as well. This is Jack. Has to work hard. Over the shoulder free kick from Trent Baldy will go in the way of power. It looks to be, is it Jack Blair? It is. He goes backwards to his teammate there in Fergus O'Connor. He gets one out wide. Now, Bray's got a little bit of space out there on the far side. Didn't have anyone to kick or handball to. He came back inboard, turned it over. Jacob Wood said, thank you very much, and then got the outside of the ball and is missed by 20 metres.
Yeah, that could have been a very, very costly turnover there, couldn't it, by Shannon Bray, who for some reason is now running along the boundary line. He knows what he's doing because they're going to change direction as a result of that free kick. They've probably chosen the wrong option here, option here. They've gone inboard, and applying the pressure was Trent Baldy, who stopped the ball in play.
Don't you just take the easy one, Poppy, coming out of the fence?
I would have thought he had 3 or 4 options and chose the hardest of all of those options.
Bray was the easy one.
Up inside forward 50. Wood now rashes through the pack, but he's taken with a nice tackle equal to Jacob Wood was Jared Blair. You can tell the class rising to the top. The ball thrown up, nicely done. Spills out. Who's going to be first there? Keldy tackle. In fact, it was a Stanlake tackle. Brought his Wonthaggi opponent to the ground, and holding it in just at the moment was Cox Edge. And the umpire says, listen, you're bloody trying your hardest, but I'll take control and ball it up.
Well, a lot of numbers around this one. Morrow nearly got a handle on it. Good work by Murray to get a handball out, and then Cox Edge gave it to Maslin. His kick was partially smothered. Here's Blair. No, free kick.
Hold the man.
He wasn't happy with Baldy either. It was Jared Blair. So a free kick to Moe. They waste no time. Manuel puts it in. However, going back is nicely done. Is it Lenihan back there on the last line? No, it's Knowles So Knowles went short, not 15. Play on, they call. Now it's in the hands of O'Connor. He got it across to the run of Knowles. Goes straight down the middle of the ground to centre-half forward area. Moe got plenty of numbers. Maslin's one of those. Twisting, turning, comes back in board. Missed the handball. Comes the other way. Schultz ran into a Coxhead's tackle. Wrapped up, ball up, and we've travelled 24 and a half minutes. Nearly 25 minutes. The margin still sits at 4 points, and it's Moe's favour.
Yeah, both defences standing tall just at the minute, but delivery in forward or up forward could be a little bit better. Quick kick forward by Moe goes the way of Stanlake, who leads the race for the ball, but it's turned over, and now all of a sudden Blair, I speak of Jack Blair, grabs the mark, right half-back flank along the line. Pinpoint perfect kick finds Joel Little with a boundary line just 3 metres to his right, the right half-forward flank. Can he find a winner in forward? He can't. He looked for Harley, fed off nicely by Maslin. Can they edge it out? They can. You know why? Because they've got the numbers, and this bloke's been good too. Declan Kelty comes grandstand side, looking for, finds Jack. Can he keep it in? He can. Can he? Yes, he can. Play on's the call. Over the top to Boldy, who danced around one. A quick kick forward, tumbles along the ground and falls in the arms of Wonthaggi's Will Lenihan, whose left foot kick himself from a standing start goes towards the boundary line at right half forward flank. Wonthaggi now starting to apply a bit more pressure. They're trailing by 4 points, are the visitors. 25, nearly 26 minutes gone first quarter.
So taking the ruck duty there is Jordan Staley and Morrow, and well, the ruckman win out there, and that's Morrow. Quickly gave it off to Seppi. He wants to get back on the left foot, does so. And good work there by Anderson just to push him out of the way and take the uncontested mark. Inboard he goes to Little. He's got one on the outside. It looks to be O'Connor. He can mark on the wing and carry it and run. Drives it towards half forward. Harley was his target. Rennett's in hot pursuit at his toes. Harley tries to get back on the left. Drops the football. The umpire said holding the ball. And Charlie Rennett will win himself the free kick. And they've been hot in this first quarter, Boxer.
It's 11 free kicks to 6 so far, Moe's way.
So 17 free kicks and a quarter's right up there, especially in a game that seems to be flowing pretty nicely too.
Every 90 seconds we've got a free kick.
Yeah, so Harris takes the mark, but a free kick against Harris for a push will fall in the arms of Shannon Bray. So he's been good, Shannon Bray, and he plays on inside the corridor. Can he find a winner? He can't. I tell you what, there's some heavy bodies contest as trying to snip out a handball as the siren goes were Moe. So I tell you what, we've seen a hotly contested game in the first 30 minutes. Good news, we've got another hour and a half of this to go, and we've got a game in our hands.
We certainly do. Moe are 2-1-13 at quarter time. They lead Wonthaggi 1-3-9. The margin is 4 points. A little bit of niggle at the quarter time break as well. Both sides now have separated. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a breath. This is an absolute belter, as Poppy just said. You're listening to Gippsland Live on TRFM right across Gippsland side. We're all getting in trouble now.
Yeah, you're gone.
Yeah. Jax was a key target. Didn't quite get on the end of a few of them, but I thought Seppi was good.
For me, Seppi was unreal.
Yeah, Seppi was good. Ferrado was good in the middle as well. Well, I think for Wonthaggi is their back line. Bray was good.
Yep.
Some good run and attack from Knowles. And in the middle of the ground, both the Blair boys were quite good as well. So let's just quickly go around the grounds, all thanks to Harvey Norman Furniture Gippsland.
Quickly in the Gippsland League here is Terralgan 4-3-27. They lead Druin 2-3-15. Warrigal 2-3-15 to Morwell, just the 4 points. And Bansdale 3-1-19 to Maffra 3-2-20.
And Poppy, you're going to have some mid-Gippsland scores for us in just a moment. This second quarter is about to get underway, and both ruckmen go at it. Morrow again got the tap down. There's Ferrado, gave it a quick one off to Coxedge, who kicked around his body towards half forward. Going back nicely was Hayes. He handled over the top to the teammate of Fergus O'Connor, and he found Blair. That's Jack. He can play on across half-back and get it towards the wing. The target out there is Thomas. Gets over his head. Working hard was Long, just shoved him out of the way. Then he picked it up, gave it quickly to Van Dyke of Moe. It was picked off, though, by the run and attack from, that was O'Connor. And the umpire said we'll have a ball up. So good a running attack from Wonthaggi's defenders.
Big surprise for me is that Long's back into the side this week, but played more in the defensive role rather than forward.
So left half back flank, free kick actually gets paid Wonthaggi's way at right half forward flank, therefore. And the player to take the kick is Jack Blair. The Blair boys have been busy. And Jack now from outside 50. He'll kick from 65. Just looking at a target. There's a bit of space there to work with too. He kicks to within 30 metres. Can he take? He can't find his big key forward in Harley. Rennett's took him out of the contest only momentarily because a quick kick went searching for a Wonthaggi forward. Didn't find it. Nicely done. And just as Fergus O'Connor was going to run towards the goals for the Power. A free kick's been paid. And guess what? Seppi gets another touch and goes towards the outer side.
Well, it might be turned over because Jones picked it off, gave it back to Jack Blair, chips it over the top. That should be a free kick for front contact, not paid. Working out there was Brosnan at ground level, shovels one out. Seppi's been super for Gippsland Isuzu this afternoon. It is left foot kick right on cue, though, goes out of bounds on the full.
It's probably our third or fourth on the full on that side of the ground so far in this game.
No breeze, Boxer.
Nothing at all to speak of, Scud.
And that is for Carpet Country this afternoon, helping dreams become a reality since 1981 as Wonthaggi go backwards to Bray. And then his inboard kick, well, Little wasn't ready for it, so Jack just said, I'll take it, I'll pick it off, I'll give it to Manuel. Manuel can give it over top to Sim. Sim can run to 30 and slam it home. Well, there you go. If you don't mind, they weren't even ready for the inboard kick from the Power, and Little was kept sleeping, and away they go.
Yeah, nice finish there by Sim too. You've got to have a presence of mind that the ball's always going to be, when you're in the area, there's always a possibility, and to Moe's credit, they were on their toes, on the balls of their feet and ready to go, and Wonthaggi just got caught flat-footed there, and the turnover, another costly one, Nick.
And it's on the Gippsland Live scoreboard, and it's now Moe 3-1-19. They lead Wonthaggi 1-3-9.
Just sort of pulled the trigger to come in board, and
he's been super.
And
Harry
then won it back.
He's just his pace, his enthusiasm around the packs. He's really hurting Wonthaggi at the moment.
So Scott goes up, but again Morrow got the handle on it. So the ruck duties are going the way of Moe, but Wonthaggi just up there ante in this contested foot in the middle of the ground as Blair works hard. That's Jared. He's on the bottom of the pack, working hard as well. There was Kelty. And we'll have a ball up. I don't think that was Kelty. A free kick. It was Sim on the bottom of the pack. So Blair will win the free kick. It's Jared. He's got one on the wing area. Nice little neat kick. Turn around. That's Joel Little. Now he runs. Hits up the target in Harley. And what a great grab. No, play on, said the umpire in the end. Ball spills out the back. Here's Tommy Long. Kick off the ground. If you don't mind, it's a great effort. And it was by the big fella in Jacob Thomas, but it's a minor score, Box.
And it is. It's on the Gippsland Live scoreboard, and it's now Moe still 3-1-19 to Wonthaggi 1-4-10.
So 3:30 gone. That's 3 minutes, 30 seconds gone. Second quarter here. Ted Summit on reserve. One of 5 great games today in Gippsland League as Scott Van Dyke goes towards the outer side. Race is on. 1v3. Guess what? The one was Moe's Ben Maslin, who kept the ball within a 50-50 contest, even though he was outnumbered. And eventually the ball will be a ball up, outside wing.
Two different contrasts to game style too, because Moe liked to get the ball moving real quickly and gain the yardage, where Wonthaggi are prepared just to chip the ball around to make sure they get plenty of space.
Well, ball still on that far wing side. Grady Coxedge put his head over the football, got tackled, then lost the footy. Blair's been working hard. Left handball over the shoulder, had a couple of numbers out the back. Now he's under enormous pressure is Joel Little. That's holding the ball. And a free kick will go in the hands of Moe. And on the far side, it looks to be Lachlan Reese, I think it is, who is a long way from home. Kicks it towards the pocket area of Ted Summit and reserve, and a big spoil looking for, that was Manuel.
I'll just quickly go around the grounds. Thanks to Harvey Norman Furniture in the AFL. It's half-time, and it's the Dockers 8-7-55. They lead the Hawks 4-5-29.
And in mid-Gippsland, Fish Creek 5-6, Newborough 1-1, Foster 5-3, Thorpe Dale 1 point, Tarwin 4-1, Mooboo North 3-4, Tory yet to score more or less 2-6.
Ball comes back in. The boundary throw, and will it favour the ruckman? Now the central umpire was going to say, let's bring it back, because Lachlan Scott read it and grabbed it out of the ruck and took off.
Well, let's keep talking about around the grounds there too. The match of the day in the North Gippsland League, it's played the same way. It's Yallourn North 3-2-20, Woodside 3-2-20.
Again, secondary ball up. Blair was the first one to grab it, Jared, and then got tackled, so we got a stoppage. 55 metres out from Moe's goal. They do trail Wonthaggi at the moment. Wonthaggi are trailing by 9 points as a big tap goes inside forward 50 for the Lions. They put the defenders under pressure. Knowles got tackled, holding the ball. Great forward 50 pressure, and it's by one of the smallest players on the park in Jacob Wood, who a couple of weeks ago took the best mark you'll ever see in country footy, in my mind. I've watched it numerous times.
Geez, that's got some lots of leverage, didn't it?
Got some traction.
Yeah, it did.
Certainly did, as Jacob Wood now tries to get a goal for the Lions. The second one in the second quarter. Starts it right, works back. Not enough. So it's a minor score. The margin now out to 10 points on the Gippsland Live scoreboard.
And it is Moe 3-2-20. They lead Wonthaggi 1-4-10.
So defensive 50, Wonthaggi with the ball, go towards the outer side. Been generally the player of the day, hasn't it? Towards that outer side of the ground. But they've found some room, Wonthaggi, through numbers. And Lindsay now turns defence into attack again. And I thought Harley may have been taken over the shoulder play and was the call. Good defence, therefore. And the ball spills over the boundary line just towards the outer side forward 50 and boundary lines. They're kicking to the scoreboard end or to the left of radio as you're listening right now. And they're trying to claw back that 10-point margin as it sits, 3-2 to 1-4. Free kick, is it?
No.
Or the boundary...
Yeah, we're going to do it again.
A bit thin again. Okay.
I tell you, he's got a big afternoon ahead of him. He's Lachlan Scott for Wonthaggi. He's got Morrow and Harris to compete with for the whole afternoon.
Yeah. And he's doing the best he can, but at the moment, I'll tell you who's doing better, and that's Wonthaggi's big man in Scott, who took the ball but couldn't find a teammate. Free kick again. Behind play. Maybe just let those ones go. Awful number of free kicks. I guess if they're there, they're there. I just can't see them sometimes as Grady Coxedge goes wide but keeps possession.
Kick down the line. Lands in the hands there of Ferrado. Half-back flank build-up for the Lions. 7.5 minutes into this second quarter.
First mark for the quarter too, Scud.
All right, Ferrado wobbly kick along the wing area. It might be the big fella there. Is it Staley that looks like... No, it's gone back. It's the other ruckman, Jacob Thomas. So Thomas has it on the far side of the ground. Thumps a kick into it, and it goes in the direction of Blair, who will get over the top, and a nice little mark in the end by Jared Blair. Half-forward flank build-up, openish forward line. If he can get it to this fat side, Harley presents for him, goes, and that's a beautiful kick. Oh. Harley got shoved in the back. It didn't matter. He was going to take the mark, and he'll go and have a shot on goal, and that's the class of Jared Blair.
He just held it up enough there too, just to allow Harley to lead into space then too. It was a great lead. Just a little bit of frustration there from Reynolds because he knew he got caught behind, and Harley's got a set shot now there. It's about 30 metres in front.
He's been in super form. He'll be in the, no doubt, at this stage in the Gippsland League Team of the Year, you'd think, as Troy Harley has won. He's a big lump of the lad, 40 metres out, puts it on its way, he likes it off the boot, and if you don't mind, Wonthaggi have matched Harry Sims' goal. That's their first of the second quarter.
And thanks to Gippsland Live Scoreboard, it is now Moe 3-2-20. They're only 4-point leaders now, Wonthaggi 2-4-16.
A couple of scores to update in mid-Gippsland too. Quarter-time score, Stony Creek looking for their first win of 2021. 1-4, trailing, but only just. Ballara, 2-1. And the big game between Yanara and MDU. Yanara at home, leading 5-1 to MDU 1-1.
Great work, Poppy.
Big moments of thanks to Monticello's this afternoon. VB Stubbies, $46 a slab, and Jack Daniels and Cola, $90 a slab. And we've got a big moment on our hands right now at the 8-minute mark, 9-minute mark of the second quarter. Blair gave it to his brother, Blair. And then out the back, it goes to Hayes. His left foot kick, top of the 50. Van Dyke, strong. Takes the intercept mark at defensive 50. Kicks it towards the wing. He's got one on. This is Manuel, who can mark on his own. He's waiting for someone to present. Jax is the one and lasers it to him at his tozo and just goes over in front of the can bar, which is always a healthy crowd here at Moe at Ted Summerton Reserve. And the boys love it on the half-forward flank here at Moe. Boxer.
The old can bar is about 10 deep at the moment, so it's a great crowd building here.
It is too. The ball's in right in front of him. Seppi gets a quick kick kick from his teammate, though. In Coxedge didn't find the target. In fact, it was the big ruckman, Scott, that cut it off. And now Blair behind the play. There's a free kick that's been paid again. It's going to go Moe's way. It looks as though Coxedge might get a second chance to find a teammate here. So Coxedge from right half forward flank, or just short thereof, looks up the line. Pretty busy. Blair on the mark, comes off quickly. In fact, it wasn't Blair, it was Schultz. The ball tumbles inside the forward 50 area, just 20 metres from goals now for Moe, and a desperate tackle keeps the ball in the area.
Free kick.
In fact, another free kick for too high. So free kicks, they're not shy in paying them, and Shannon Bray gets another kick. He again changes direction where the teal, white and black jumpers have ran and spread really quickly. And now, although still deep in 50, they've got a couple of options. One of which is towards the outer side, right half-back flank.
Brosnan was the target, although it's going to come back.
Too high, Scott.
Yep. So Darcy Brosnan has the free kick. Plays on, left footer. Goes towards the wing area. Big pack will form over there. Head it goes. There's Skinner for Moe. Just tapped it out. There's some numbers, though, favour Leongatha, quick kick around the body from Bates, gets it to the top of the 50 for Wonthaggi. They got some numbers and the pressure's quite good for him. It tries to squeeze it out. Good little work by Anderson to get it going. And another free kick will go in the way of Jared Blair. And last time he had the footy in this position, he hit up the key target. He puts it to the hot spot. Harley will fly in front of 3 Moe defenders, and it just escaped his fingertips. And in the end, Thomas was able to run it over for a boundary throw-in only 15 metres around from Wonthaggi's goal. They are pressing as they trail at the moment by 4 points.
You get the feeling they maybe need another option or two, so not to be so predictable looking for Harley, because he was easily outnumbered there, 3-1, which means there was a couple of Wonthaggi players somewhere that could have been considered at least. Speaking of Wonthaggi players, a quick kick out of the pack by the Powers. Lindsay drops within a couple of metres, and guess what? Thank you very much. A great goal from nothing comes from Darcy Brosnan. And all of a sudden, after trailing most of the day, the Power have hit the front for the first time on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, great call, Poppy. That just sort of spilled out and it just landed in his hands. Moe looked to have plenty of numbers around the football. All of a sudden, Brosnan had it and put it on its way. Great goal.
Yeah, forward pressure too. And on our Gippsland Live scoreboard is now Wonthaggi who hit the lead 3-4-22. They lead Moe 3-2-20. Tell you what, but Harley, his pace is very good for a big man. He can work to the front position very well.
Scott doing the ruck duties. This time was up against Harris. Quick kick out the middle there was from Manuel. In the front of Baldy. He's got a defender there as well for him in the way of O'Connor. And he'll see it over right in front of the Moe coaching staff. You can see James Blazer down there helping out. He's, of course, out injured at the moment. It'll be a handy side coming back in. Lachlan Sims down there as well as Harris does the ruck duties against Scott. No one really got a handle on it. Murray tried to come through for the Power. Quick kick by O'Connor. Got towards this is Davey. He's trying to work hard, and now Long came in and put a strong tackle on O'Connor. And for the ball up. Half forward flank build up now for Moe. Harris and Scott do the ruck duties.
They do, yeah. Neither player got hands to the ball. I thought that on that occasion Scott went more for Harris than he did the ball, but the umpire let that one fly. And although there's been plenty of free kicks, haven't really had an impact on the game where you're thinking they're doing too much, the umpires today. So that's probably an okay sign. Harris tried to kick the ball off the ground, couldn't. The ball spills out again. Wonthaggi desperate at the bottom of the pack, and that was Lindsay. But importantly, the player that comes up with the ball, it comes from Moe, and that's Lachlan McLeod, who kicks to within 20 metres, and they can't stop the run of play there because Tim Knowles goes towards the outer side, and all of a sudden Wonthaggi have got some numbers and some room to move.
Yeah, Bates gave it to O'Connor. They got it towards Anderson at half forward. Gives a nice handle off to the last goal scare. No, not in the field of play. So couldn't quite keep it in, did Anderson. And it'll allow Wonthaggi and Moe to reset. Boundary throw-in. 14 and a half minutes gone. Margin sits at 2 points in favour of Wonthaggi. They've taken the lead for the first time from the stoppage. This is Hayes. Tried to handball. No one was there, though. And this is Harris, who had it. It's going to go back, is it, to Hayden Prestige?
You can just see there's no marks inside 50 this quarter so far. So both defences have been incredibly well disciplined today too to hold no marks inside 50.
So Prestige on his defensive 50 went out wide and found Seppi. He comes back inboard towards Maslin. They're still hanging around that defensive 50 of the Lions. Now Maslin decides to run and get a little bit of extra meterage, but the kick though is going to drop short, and Fergus O'Connor will take the intercept mark. Does he give it back to him? Knowles is up to the task. There'll be a free kick. The advantage was paid, and it's going to come back to Tim Knowles.
So both teams pretty well set up behind the ball as well, I think, and that's the important thing. So as they go forward, Nick and Scud, they just can't seem to find a target. There's just not enough room to forwards to lead into. So now as they go forward again, Wonthaggi through Knowles, he goes towards the outer side, and maybe it's Flynn Anderson who has the ball, and an outer side wing. It comes through Lockie Jones, threatens forward 50. Player with it now is Aidan Lindsay. From 60 metres he'll kick. He's going to go long, and I reckon it's 7-on-1. Moe win out, or do they find the boundary? They do, but it's just the wrong target. It's just the wrong target. They're not putting enough pressure on the Moe defence, really. They're just standing and delivering, and it's pretty hard. It's pretty easy to defend.
Inside forward 50s, are you doing those ones, Boxer?
No, I'm not, Scud.
Oh, the most important one of the day.
Probably is, but I just can't fit it all in.
All right, you haven't got too much on your plate today as Moe tried to get this from the stoppage. And it's going to come back as Prestige just kicked and tried to relieve a little bit of pressure, but the big ruckman took the mark in Scott. He goes backwards towards Lenahan. He's in the middle of the ground. He's a left footer. He can get it to the fat side. Murray's drifted down. Tried the hanger. Couldn't quite get it. Kick around the body there was from Pearce. He looked for the boundary line. He found it, and the umpire waits and says it is deliberate. And it's going to come back in.
Well, all 36 players in one half of the ground, or almost, and the player with the ball now will kick from 75 metres, and that's Bates, who kicks to within 15. Can he find Harley? He can. No, Harley couldn't
Free
take
kick.
the mark, but he has got the free kick. Whereas I said they're going unnoticed, all of a sudden they've bobbed their heads up with a couple of 50-50 decisions that can be crucial. Troy Harley, who's kicked two, will have the chance to add to that, and he'll have to do it, though, from a pretty tight angle. He's got the boundary fence just 3 metres to his left. He now takes 4 or 5 steps before he hits the boundary line. He's on the right side for a right footer. Off the boot, it looks all right. It's got some right to left. I reckon it might have. It has indeed. And he's done what not many could. He's got his third of the afternoon. Troy Harley, take a bow.
And that's on the Gippsland Live scoreboard. And it's Wonthaggi, 4-4-28. They lead Moe 3-2-20.
Well, good little response there. 3 goals in a row now, and they've got the lead. Free kicks will be an interesting one, Boxer, if he can get to those, because there's been plenty of them in total for the game so far. I think we've had too many, to be fair.
We had 17 in the first quarter, and we're up to now 14 in this quarter. So 31 free kicks so far in the game.
In a half. So they're going to win the stoppage again. Murray was the one who won the clearance, kicked it to the top of the 50. Trying to get there was Davey. Working hard now over the hands of Blair. Gives it back out to Lindsay. Twisting, turning. Gave it back now to Davey. His kick inside forward 50. Harley again. Takes the mark on his chest. And from 30 metres out, we'll have another shot on goal. Tightish angle. But if it's anything like the last, it could be straight through the middle, and Harley's been on fire.
First mark inside 50 for the quarter.
He might be the only target, but he's certainly given him a great target in this second quarter. He's kicked 2 goals in the second quarter. He's got 3 for the game, and this one he has missed. So it's a minor score at the 19-minute mark of the second quarter, Box.
And on the Gippsland Live scoreboard, Wonthaggi 4-5-29. They lead Moe 3-2-20.
It's a dangerous play to play forward of your opposing player, but I tell you what, 3 times Rennett's got found just behind his opponent as the ball just spills in quickly. So need to get on top of that as Moe get on top of the ball right around the centre of the ground, or do they? No, only momentarily, because comes through to Steve Scott, whose kick is smothered courtesy of a diving Wood smother. Good work, Wood. And towards the outer side of the ground, we'll see a ball up. So 19 and a half minutes gone, second quarter. Moe at home, 3 goals, 2-20. Wonthaggi 4-5-29. Both of these teams are locked away on the ladder as another free kick's been paid, and it's going to go Moe's way.
I'd like to see Kilty go back to Harley as they did in that first quarter. I thought that was a better matchup for Rennett's to be on Staley, and we'll just see how that pans out. For the
well, Morrow's kick goes towards Jacks. He had 2 or 3 bites at it, couldn't quite get it. Then at ground level, quick kick out of there is defensive 50 for the Power. The Wood was able to swoop on it at the wing area. Gave a handball off to Maslin. Nice little sidestep. He wants someone to come to him. It's Baldy's going to be his target. Tries to work the defender underneath. Couldn't do so. Ground level work was good. Took on the tackler. Now he's in a bit of strife. The umpire said no opportunity, which is the right one, mind you.
It's great work there by Kitten Baldy. He was caught behind, but he managed to keep the ball inside his 50.
So ball up. Harris does the ruck duties. Tries to clear the area. Here's Sim. Kicks around his body too much on it. And it's going to miss everything in the end and go across the face of goal for a boundary throw-in. Towards the South Street end of the ground here at Ted Summerton Reserve. It is a 9-point margin in favour of Wonthaggi.
And Kilty has gone back, as Nick thought might be the best option. Kilty has gone back to take on Troy Harley, who's been busy in this second quarter. Moe within metres of their own goals. Probably need to get the next one to close the gap before the major break. They're 9 points down with probably 6 or 7 minutes to go, possibly. Not a lot of goals, not a lot of stoppages. The ball just meters from the Lions' goals. A short throw in again. The umpire will call that, will he? Yes, he will. give the boundary young lady, boundary rider, an opportunity to throw in the second one. She does a better job there. Well done. But again, at ground level, busy players, and I don't see what that free kick was for either, but there's another free kick, and it'll go the way of Tom Murray.
Squares it up lateral. Bray, the target, coming towards the can bar. He can chip it over the top and find a teammate, Lenihan, and he does now. As they just slow things up late in this first quarter. Lenihan's kick, though, is going to be turned over. Come off the side of his boot. Stanlake took it. I think he's too far out to score. The man on the mark's right on the 50. And Stanlake says, I want to go long and deep. I'd be looking for an option, I reckon, Mitch. I think you don't have the distance in you, but he goes back with a little bit of confidence. The man on the mark's right on 50. He rolls in. He runs around to the right, gets that extra little bit of distance, hasn't got the distance, as we said. Top of the square. Harris couldn't mark. Stepping around someone there was Baldy, although Wonthaggi up to it, and they get it out. Nice little handball. Jacob Thomas over the top to Lockie Jones, and he cleared the defensive 50 by boot. And they're going to get a stoppage on the far side of the ground as it goes over for a boundary throw-in. Well done by the power.
Yeah, it was too. Moe have been pressing for the last few minutes, but Wonthaggi have stood up under that pressure, and they got themselves through some traffic and now find themselves a long way from Moe's goals, which is a good thing if you're a power supporter. A boundary throw-in to take place again. Unfortunately, just not quite getting that right at the moment, although this is quite a different boundary umpire that's throwing this one in. And that's a bit better job. Ball thrown back in. Nicely done. So Moe's Benny Morrow got the tap down. Gee, she's a busy intersection below Ben Morrow on both ruckmen, in fact. And again, the umpire will come in and direct traffic with a ball up. The half forward flank.
The heights of the first quarter have just sort of dropped off. It's got a little bit scrappy now, hasn't it?
Yeah, become a bit of an arm wrestle, whereas...
Well, we expected it. I mean, they couldn't go that hot for that long.
No.
And I just think Wonthaggi now has got that overlap game going now, and they're starting to a little bit get on top now of Moe.
Front spot again, Morrow, though it was picked off by Aidan Lindsay, who won it and then kicked around his body. Towards the half forward, Tommy Long goes back, quick the handball to Maslin, and it goes further afield to Fry, back to Maslin. This is by hands. They get it along now to McLeod, who gets around one, lowers the eyes, goes to half forward, and Mitch Stanlake
off he goes.
Plays on, top of the 50, gets around the tackle of Jones, squared it up, top of the 50, it's going to turn over. Blair dropped the mark that he should have taken, though. Here's Manuel, can swing around, went to the left, back onto the right, and the kick lands in the hands of O'Connor, and he quickly gets things on towards Harley. At long, closed quickly, big fist, big spoil, boundary throw-in, and everyone takes a breath. 9-point margin, 24 minutes gone.
Tom Long's closing speed is incredible. You know, Harley had that ball wrapped up, and Tom Long to make the ground that he did to get that ball over the line was great work.
Some sloppy play, though, wasn't there previously by Moe? He had an opportunity, as Scud called correctly, and didn't make the most of it. And they need to make the most of opportunities now, because the scoreboard says you're not going to get a lot. 3 goals to 4 goals, and we've played a quarter, almost 2 of football. Moe into attack, grandstand side, 55 metres from home, and they're trailing by 9 points. Moe get the tap. Who gets the first possession? Kick off the ground, doesn't gather much ground. Nicely done. Can this player do it? And I speak of Ferrado. He can't. I tell you what, she's hot in there. It spills out. Only momentarily pushing the back. No, play on to the call again. Hayes was the player that got a push, and now a quick kick out of the pack and waiting underneath it. Play on was the call. Was Moe's Lachlan McLeod. He feeds it off to Seppi. Seppi, left foot kick around the boundary, spilled over. Grandstand side in front of the can bar. The intersection of forward 50 and boundary. And Moe, as I say, trailing by 9 points, 25 minutes gone, second quarter. We'll update you on those scores around Gippsland, Latrobe, North Gippsland and Mid Gippsland. But right now, Ted Summerton reserve, there's a free kick being paid, and it's against Moe at left half-back flank.
It is going to the big resting ruckman in Thomas. Got it towards Harley in front of Kelty this time. Strong mark. He's going to come on inboard the 45. The fella there is the helmet, and his name's Tom Davey. Quick handball to Blair. He sweeps one out the front, and Lindsay sits up for him, does it? No, not quite. They close. Skinner was there to close. Kilty comes in to help. Lindsay on the bottom of the pack, and we'll have a ball up, top of the 50. Margin sits 9 points in favour of Wonthaggi. They've kicked 3 goals to 1 in this quarter. They've gained the lead, and Lachlan Scott does the ruck duties with Morrow. At the back, Murray is going to put his teammate under a bit of pressure in Bates. Good tackle there from Sim. And the umpire says, holding the ball, Harry Sim, free kick.
Yeah, nice tackle. Well done by Sim. And Wonthaggi just a moment ago, like Moe a few minutes before that, had their opportunity to convert and didn't. Sim finds a target in Wood, gains 20 metres. Wood looks to his left and wants to go that way, but eventually goes short to the right where he chooses another option, and that's Ferrado. Right half back flank. I tell you what, they need to be pinpoint perfect, and he was. So credit where it's due. Grady Cox edge now, just short of right half forward flank. Gee, she's busy work up ahead, isn't it? He plays on now, kicks towards the boundary, towards the forward 50. Not much room to work, and in fact, no room to keep that ball in play, and there'll be another boundary throw-in.
You can just see there's no impact from the forwards of Moe at the moment. They've had no marks inside 50 for the whole quarter.
Well, ball comes back in, top of the 50 it is for the Lions. Can they get something from this stoppage? Seppi tried to run it, hit it with pace. Couldn't take the footy with him, though. Head over it was Baldy. He won it, got a little boot to ball, goes to the pocket. Jacks works his play around, kicks top of the square. Wonthaggi's back there. The goalkeeper is Bray, and they might rebound and slingshot out of there. The kick to some open space. Brosnan was the one, tapped it just by hand to Jones. Then he gave it back to Brosnan. They've got one, it's Blair. Works his player underneath it. The umpire said you pushed him in the back. I'm not sure about that. And Moe quickly transfers, and they're about to go into attack. This is Maslin.
Well, he handballed it, got smothered, it fell back in his hands, and he gave it to Big Morrow, who's torpedo from a standing start falls. In fact, a free kick has been paid. It goes Trent Baldy's way. So Trent Baldy goes looking for Jacks, can't find that player, but importantly at ground level, they've got Manuel, who fights hard to keep the ball in the area. And again, the umpire...
They didn't pay the free kick, but it should have been.
Yeah, looked like he got one in the back, fair and square, didn't he?
Yep.
So they need a bit of luck here to Moe. Harris got the tap. Yep, they found Wood at ground level. Left foot kick, top of the square.
Oh, danger.
No, danger, but has been the case for most of this game. Wonthaggi have been equal to the task. And they're equal once more through Jared Blair, whose quick short kick finds little, and off they go. The power to a one-on-one contest. I reckon they're going to be beaten by the boundary. They are. Left half forward flank, Moe into attack. Almost half time, you would think. 28 and a half minutes gone. Moe 3-2, Wonthaggi 4-5.
Beautiful Saturday afternoon. Great to have your company wherever you might be on around Gippsland and the Valley, or streaming, of course, on any online streaming services. And another boundary throw in here. Big moments brought to you by Monticello's. Jack Daniels and Cola, $90 a slab. Or buy any dozen bottles of wine at any stage and get 20% off with a free six-pack of Corona. As the siren sounds for half-time, it was all Wonthaggi in that quarter. They trailed by 4 points at quarter time. They now lead it by 9 points. Wonthaggi a 4-5-29, Moe a 3-2-20. It's half-time. We've got the half-time wrap coming up after the break. It is at Gippsland Live, and it's for Harvey Norman Electrical. Be warm at home with a Sunbeam Feel Perfect Micro Plush Heater Throw, which is only $89, and get up to $1,000 cash back when you buy any selected Samsung TV and soundbar together. You can see in store for details. That's your local Harvey Norman Electrical. Meet games that we missed at the halftime wrap. This third quarter, though, is about to get underway. Harris does the ruck duties up against Scott. Harris knocked it down. Free kick already being paid in the middle of the ground will go to Ferrado. Right foot kick, inside forward 50, in front of Jacks. He's got a little bit of space in front. Couldn't quite mark. Here's Sim. He's been busy. Left foot kick around the body. Is it touched? It bounces away. And it's a minor score inside 20 seconds. And the margin reduced to 8 points. As Knowles comes in, squares it up to Shannon Bray. As Bray has it, defensive back pocket. And Bray looks out to the outer side, kicks towards the target. High up the ground there was Harley, but Kelty couldn't quite complete the mark in the end. It comes to ground level. And the umpire then said you dragged it in and it's holding the ball. That's tough on Declan Kelty. And quickly, Harley gave it across to the run there of Hayes, kicks it towards half forward. And in front, nicely done, Jake Thomas. Swings around, right foot kick, one-on-one. Inside, Aidan Lindsay's the target. Over the back it goes. Baldy's back there. He wants it to sit nicely. Brosnan closes, puts a tackle on. Blair works in a little tight space. Close to the boundary. Over it goes. And a boundary throw in. They were nervous, those Moe defenders then.
They were very, very nervous there, Scud, too. And the transition footy from Wonthaggi's been fantastic as well. So they've got their forwards are definitely on top, and they're really presenting well.
Yeah, they certainly are. Inside forward 50, good tap forward, no. Rove nicely by Cox Edge, gains ground, valuable meterage. In fact, it was Scott Van Dyke who cleared the area, but it's only going to be momentarily because the numbers of Wonthaggi, well, they've been busy, haven't they? And Mitch Hayes from just outside 50 kicks to the top of the square, but Kelty was a defender who brought the ball to ground. Harris helps in that area as well, and then coming in also is Seppi, and they eventually clear the area. But it's not one of the best kicks that you've ever seen. In fact, it goes out of play on the full. And I reckon it'll be young Jared Blair who will take the kick. No, he wanted to take the kick, but he gives it back. And he gives it to his teammate in Lockie Jones. Lockie Jones gives ground, but opens up the goal face, and he finds Joel Little. So he'll be 55 metres out. But I tell you what, he's still in the play himself if he wanted to get this back. Joel Little, though, his kick is an absolute shocker. He turns his back at disgust and claps his hands together as if to say, you're going to bed early tonight. That is terrible.
Yeah, it was definitely looking for length then.
Yeah, free kick. Grady Cox Edge will take that with the Wonthaggi goals just 15 metres to his right. He'll be kicking towards our TRFM commentary position, and he'll find Seppi. Jordan Seppi, still in defensive 50, looks across the ground, but I tell you what, Wonthaggi have closed off most avenues now, so he kicks to a one-on-one contest. It probably wasn't the best option, but fortuitously
holding the ball.
Balls in the hands of Reese. A holding the ball decision now will go Wonthaggi's way.
Yeah, Blair was the one. This is Jack. He swings around, lowers the odds, right foot kick. It goes in the direction of Harley, and he finds him. He had two defenders on him. Cox Edge was there. Kelty was late. I'll tell you what, delivery inside forward 50 from the Blair brothers is superb, and the target Harley is unbelievable. He's got some hands.
He's prepared to play in front, and he really, if he gets caught behind, his work rate to get to the front position, either for the contest, and you know he's got a great set of hands. You could just prove it then.
Well, Troy Harley,
fantastic.
He's got four, and he's got three. He's going for four from 30 metres out, and he's a great kick of the football as well, and they all go to him as well. And that is a team goal. Harley's got four for the afternoon.
And thanks to on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard, we have to thank them anyway for McDonald's. It is Wonthaggi 5-5-35. They lead Moe 3-3-21.
So in 6 games prior, Troy Harley's only kicked 17 goals. You wonder why he hasn't kicked a couple of bagfuls based on what we've seen today. He's up against some of the best defenders in the league, and he's kicked 4 already. He's averaging 2.8 prior to this game. So Moe need to get a wriggle on now, and Harris tries to instigate that, but I
just think he's playing a little bit deeper today. I reckon he's a little bit closer to home. Normally a centre half.
Yeah.
He works really high up, and then he works his way back and make sure he gets that one-on-one contest.
He's doing well, isn't he? Scott thumps the ball down from Wonthaggi, gains 2 metres, but there's no clear passage through, and Wood on the bottom of the pack holds that ball in.
And see what that does now too. Kilty, who likes to play high up, is now dragged down to the goal square just to cover him.
And Jordan Staley comes back into the side, so that's where that's occurred.
Yeah, so a game of chess being played behind the scenes by the coaches as well as Wonthaggi goes forward, threatens the forward 50 and eventually spills over the boundary line in front of a fairly healthy Canberra crowd of a few hundred people. The crowd today, probably a few thousand, mind you. Beautiful Saturday afternoon with still 7 or 8 weeks to go. And that's before finals time, of course. And 2 of these teams that we're witnessing today are going to play a major part, you would think. Harris, the ruckman for Moe. Quick kick from ground level. Edges it forward. In trouble. Spills over again. Wonthaggi's pressure has been good. Josh Bates plays on. Kicks to within 30. They're looking for Bates again. Reynolds cuts it off. And then Kelty goes in to lend a hand. But again, Wonthaggi around the corner. Guess who handed that one to the big man in Harley? I reckon it was Tom Davey with the helmet.
You nailed it right on the head. It's that pressure from Wonthaggi. They've brought the pressure ever since that start of that second quarter to right now. They're forcing Moe to make mistakes, and Moe are making them.
So Troy Harley has 4. He's going for 5. We've only played 5 minutes third quarter. He could be in for one of the days of his career. Until I said exactly that. And it's gone to the right, and he's kicked a minor score from 10 metres out on the slightest of angles.
And on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard, it's Wonthaggi 5-6-36. They lead Moe 3-3-21. How long's it been since Moe's kicked a goal, Scott?
Since the 2-minute mark of the second quarter was the last time they kicked a goal. So Van Dyke was the one to bring it in. Got over the back, but Wonthaggi just got some numbers. Repeat entries again, and Harley got shoved in the back, and he's going to win another free kick 40 metres out from goal. He's directly in front. Has he got the length? Well, he's a nice kick.
Oh, he'll get the length. I think what he did before, he was that close to goal. He just poked at it. Yeah. And we know what happens when you poke at things, Scud.
Yeah, you poke and you miss.
And he's probably more comfortable at this position here. He's right inside centre square too.
He's directly in front. The man on the mark's at 44 metres, so he'll kick it from 49, and it's on its way. It's got the length and not the accuracy. So he's missed 2 in the last minute of play. And the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard, another minor score. The margin now box.
It is now 15 points, Scud.
So Moe just need to get a couple of forward 50 entries, but at the moment there's 35 players in one half of the ground, and Moe just having trouble clearing the area. And guess what? They're being forced wide. Ben Maslin on this occasion has been forced so wide that it went out of play on the full. I reckon we've seen that 3 or 4 times this quarter. As Steve Scott brings the ball back in, he brings it into the corridor because he knows that's where they can be dangerous. Spilling a mark and almost roving it. Equally as well with Wonthaggi down to that forward 50. Jared Blair crashes through. Handballs in the direction of his brother who was taken off the ball, but fairly. And now it spills out where the Black Guernseys had the ascendancy until one Jacob Wood came through at 300 miles an hour and took the ball with him, and the ball... And whoever is in his way was going to go over the boundary line.
It's Moe's just got a lot of players that have gone missing since quarter time. They just need to find a little bit more form this quarter to get themselves back in the game.
100%. Ball comes back in. Taking the ruck duties there is Staley for the power. Free kick. No, the umpire says my ball. We'll do it again. So Staley up against Harris. And this time Staley got a handle on it. Good work by Skinner. Nice little handball. Just though he was smothered and tried to get it towards Wood, but Wood works hard at ground level. Comes out. Here's Blair. This is Jared. Squeezed a handball out. Quickly run there from Schultz. Kicks around the body. Harley dropped it. Twisting, turning, left foot. Kick goes high. Back to the point of the square. For Spoil. Lands in the hands. Quick little kick. This one by Hayes. And he's put it through. Well, the small crumbing forward, Mitch Hayes, has got a one. And the Power extend the lead now. It's out to a game high. 21 points.
And on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard, it's Wonthaggi, 7-7-49. They skipped away now to Moe, 3-3-21. I know what you were oohing at then too. It was Jared Blair got caught up in a tackle and his leg got caught underneath Jacob Wood's body.
And he's come straight off the ground.
Yeah, he's just, I think it's...
Hopefully it's nothing serious, but he's giving you a bit of a stretch. Is the coach, Jared Blair. Yeah, Wood took him and he just had his legs caught underneath the Wood tackle and just...
Got a fair lip, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has just at the minute. So I think they'll just see how that feels over the next 5 or 10 minutes, but they won't risk him unless it's absolutely necessary. And at the moment, as you heard from Scud, they've got a game-high break at the moment. So this centre break, absolutely crucial. Moe can't give up any more of a lead than what it currently sits at. It currently sits at 18 points. In fact, 22 points, I should say. As the ball is over the outer side of the ground, there'll be a ball up.
I'll tell you what, just while you're calling that, Poppy, Jared Blair is walking around, but he's certainly favouring it. It's getting worse as the minutes pass, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see too much of Jared Blair this afternoon. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not a bad one. As the ball for Moe trying to work through Baldy, gives it off to Skinner, but was picked up by this time Jack Blair, who can have one bounce. He goes to half forward. He tries to put the afterburners on and get around Pearce. Didn't do so in the end. Had to give the handball up. Now it comes inboard. Nicely done by Bates. Release the run of Davey. He flies, has a shot. No one in the goal line except for Tommy Long. And Tommy Long will mark within 1 metre.
Incredibly, Moe's first mark for the quarter. Incredibly.
Yep.
We've played 10.5 minutes and not one mark prior. That's amazing. So the ball brought back in by Long. Well, a kick to space more than a man in particular, and it was taken by Wonthaggi's Josh Bates, who centres it up. And guess what? He finds another teammate. Can you believe this? Wonthaggi just working so hard that they're getting opportunities. Noah Anderson, who we haven't called many times today at all, will have the opportunity to make this league close enough to 5 goals, if you can believe it. You wouldn't have if you heard the call in the first and midway through the second. We had a real arm wrestle. Noah Anderson on a 45-degree angle, 35 metres out. Off the boot looks nice. Through the goals looks better. And Wonthaggi celebrate.
What a great goal. They absolutely piling on, as we said. Moe haven't kicked the goal since the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. and now we've travelled 10 minutes into the third, and the margin box, it's 28 points.
It is too, Scott. It's on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard, and Wonthaggi 7-7-49. They lead Moe 3-3-21.
As we said, just ticked over 11 and a half minutes into this third quarter. We've got a bit of a watch on Jared Blair as well, Box.
What's calmed down too, though, is the free kick count. It's only been 3 free kicks for the quarter, all Wonthaggi's way as well. So, things are sort of swinging everything in their favour at the minute.
Well, doing the ruck duties for Moe's Morrow up against Scott. Morrow did okay, but Scott's groundwork was very good. Nice little handle inboard. This one is Hayes. Drives it inside forward 50. One-on-one. Staley was a target. This time, Harley stayed down. Rennitz was there. He fell over. Nearly lost the football. Coming the other way there was Pearce. And we have a stoppage, 15 metres now from Wonthaggi's goal.
We've got to be careful. You're getting the feeling that this could blow out at the moment. They're just slowly applying the pressure, turning the screws.
Yeah, Murray hit that stoppage at pace, but was wrapped up in a nice tackle.
Scud, last quarter in the AFL, and it's the Dockers by 41 points.
Again, Morrow just shepherded a footy. Murray again hit it at pace, and this time didn't get a handle on it. And Baldy's kick, well, luckily he was touched because it went over. Actually, it was Van Dyke's kick who went out of bounds, but it was touched. So we've got a boundary throw in. About a metre around from Wonthaggi's goal. Inside forward 50. Have Moe been in there at all this quarter, Box?
Twice.
No, we've only been in there twice, and Wonthaggi have been in
14 times.
And he's just making up stats now.
He did, but they've kicked 3 goals too, which is great. It's inside their forward 50 now, and I tell you what, Moe is doing everything they can, but a quick kick around the body by Mitch Hayes. Again, an attack on goals, but this time offline and out of play on the full will result in a free kick to Moe. 13 goals, in fact, 13 and a half minutes gone. Not many goals for Moe, 3 goals, 3-21. The visitors, Wonthaggi, 7-7-49. That margin, 28 points. There's 3 teams that have only lost the 1 game to date this year, and these are 2 of them today. So Moe, at this stage, are staring down the barrel of their second loss of the year, courtesy of a really good, strong performance by Wonthaggi that continues as we speak.
Yep, they're about to reload and go inside forward 50 again. The target, well, the smallest man on the park, Tom Davey. If you can't see him out there, that's because he's only 4 foot, but he took a strong mark inside forward 50.
Scud, that's their 5th mark inside 50 for the quarter.
Yep. Well, good news is that Blair looks to be coming back on the ground as well. Jared, he's had his left knee checked out. Seems to be all good as Tom Davey looks to get this outside of 30-plus points, and this will be a killer blow, you'd think, halfway through the third quarter. They got 3 goals already in the quarter, and Davey leans back on it and puts it through.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, Wonthaggi have just blown this apart. 4 goals in the quarter so far, and we've still got 10, 15 minutes to go.
And on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard, Wonthaggi 8-7-55, 34-point leaders over the Lions 3-3-21.
Give you a couple of updates around North Gippsland as well, because there's been a couple of game changes. Tarwin 7-5-47 now trail by 5 points. Mubu North are 7-10-52. Stony Creek
here we go
6-6-42. Ballara 3-4-22.
I told you,
leading by 20 points, looking down the barrel of their first win of the year. More or least have Tura 4 goals at bay, and you now have MDU 4 goals in behind them as well.
Morrow tapped it down. Lindsay worked hard at ground level for the Power. Working equally hard in the middle of the ground, there is Ferrado. He is a contested player.
You had Stony Creek gone, finished, done, Poppy.
I did.
Yep, done.
So did you.
No, I said they will go on.
No, you did not. As Morrow got this one out, a free kick will go to the midfielder in Seppi. In the middle of the ground, can they get something out of this one? Get something late in the third quarter. His kick, that's going to drop short and be picked off. This guy's had a good game, Josh Bates, for the Power.
You can just see the frustration settling in too. Then Jax was, he raised the head to say, now that wasn't the greatest kick in the world too there, Seppi. So.
Well, I actually said Bates, but it's Anderson who has it. Bates has been good. Kicks towards the direction. This time Declan Kelty in front of Harley marks. And Kelty on the wing area. Comes to the skinny boundary side as Jax presents. The first time I think we've seen Jax take a mark this afternoon. He's too far out to score. He's a long way from home. He's 70 metres out. He plays on, though. He'll get his kick as deep as he possibly can. Manuel in the front spot. Couldn't mark it. Over the back there. Quick kick off the ground. It was from Ferrado. It goes across the face and will be another minor score. And on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard, celebrate with the McFamily at Macca's.
It's Wonthaggi 8-7-55. They lead Moe 3-4-22.
As the visitors bring the ball back into play, they go short. The option there was Will Lenahan on grandstand side. He does the courteous thing and gives it back to whence it came, and that was Tim Knowles, who now, they work their angles pretty well. Joel Little's a player who sits in the corridor, and he's got options left or right, or maybe on a 45 degree. He's got too many options, to be quite frank, and one of them is Stephen Scott, who takes the ball, right half-back flank. So they're just being a little bit more settled. They obviously are working harder because there's no Moe opponents on them at the moment. And they're at the period now where they have to either go short again, which they've done, or go long. Obviously, they've got one or two options, but Tom Murray runs himself into trouble. Didn't see Mitch Stanlake, and as a consequence, Mitch Stanlake will pick up a quick kick. He needs to move the ball quickly, though, before they've got time to settle, and he does. And here we go, centre of the ground. Grady Coxedge kicks to the leading, I reckon that could be Manuel, is it? Yep. Couldn't find that play. Dances around one. Can he dance around two? I thought he dropped the ball. The umpire says, Poppy, I reckon you're right. I'll pay a free kick and I'll give it to Lockie Jones.
Yeah, good tackle. And you're right, they did need to move the football quick. It's just the execution going inside forward 50. So Jones has it. 8-7-55 Wonthaggi. They've blown it out in this third quarter. 3-4-22 Moe. Jones' kick, though, turned over as Tommy Long marked and comes inboard. He's missed the target as well. Coming the other direction was Hayes. He drives it to centre forward. He's going to kick it over the top of Harley's head. Going back now is Kelty to try and win it. He taps it. He bounces it. He wants it to sit up for him, and it doesn't. And he goes to ground. And now Davey comes in, but the umpire set a free kick. Can we let the boys play? Oh, dear. Kelty had it. Half back, goes in towards Reese. Right in the middle of the ground. Takes the mark. I know it's a tough job, but it's equally tough to... Sometimes it's easy just not to pay the decisions and just let it play a little bit. As Reese drives it in. Manuel again the target. 2-on-1 again. Power up for it. Jones tried to milk the free kick on that occasion. Now Long kicked around the body. But again, it's picked up by the Wonthaggi defenders and they'll repel this forward thrust again. This time Knowles gets it out towards Bates and they're away and it's quite easy in the end.
It is too. Bates goes short and unlike Moe, they're finding teammates when they need to. Right half-back flank, short option. No, not given. Play on's the call. Stanlake on the mark. Kick to space. The race is on. Now, in fact, Kelty, is it? That dances around 1-2 but can't get through a third. It is. And right where the players' race is, the ball spills over the boundary line. 19 minutes gone, third quarter. Moe 3 goals 4. Wonthaggi 8 goals 7. Boundary throwing to take place. Jared in front of the TRFM commentary position.
Jared Blair just takes another spell, an interesting one, Boxer. I don't know if that was his regular rotation after spending a lot of time off.
Yeah, I was going to just mention that he just brought himself off again, so maybe that injury is maybe just playing on his mind a little bit.
Well, thanks to Carper Country, Nick Lucchino doing everything for us this afternoon as Seppi from the stoppage kicks down the line and just getting a hand on it. Will Lenahan's been great for the Power. Actually, a lot of those big defenders for Wonthaggi have been good, and I talk of Lenahan's one of those. Scott's another one. Obviously, Shannon Bray down there as well. And Jones is another one. Tim Knowles is the other big one. So they're standing up, other defenders. You spoke about the key forwards being an important part of the game, and right on cue, another one. This one is Josh Bates, and he takes the mark.
He's paid the free kick too high, Scud.
Yep.
Yeah, because Jax is just getting frustrated with opportunities at the moment and took a player out with the contest and gave away the free kick.
You mentioned, Poppy, in the pre-game that the key forwards of both sides are going to be the target.
Yeah.
Harley's kicked 4, and we haven't seen Jax at all.
And that was probably the danger, wasn't it, for Moe in the end of the day, given that he was the focal point. But anyway, Wonthaggi, as they go forward, will be looking for one of a few focal points. Can they find one right here? I reckon it could have been Jacob Thomas, was it, or Aidan Lindsay? A quick kick from Davey. Don't tell me he couldn't. Can he? When you're hot. You're hot, but it was just pushed over the boundary line then.
An inch.
I reckon it was Charlie Reynolds that pushed it over, so well done to you, Charlie. But a behind for Wonthaggi, and again, extend that lead.
On the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard, it's Wonthaggi 8-8-56. They lead Moe 3-4-22.
Stanlake brings it in. Kicks it to the far side of the ground. Lucky Reese in the front spot. Couldn't mark it. Lindsay at ground level again. Squeezed a handball out to Lenahan. Inboard he comes to Hayes. Goes backwards now to O'Connor. Drives it towards forward 50. The ruckman got a hand up. tried to repel that one out. Quick kick was from Maslin. It landed on the chest of Morrow in the end. And half-back flank lines build up. Goes out wide. Reese looks to be a long way from home. He has taken the uncontested mark, though. Now he gets called to play on. His kick goes high. There's not really much penetration on the kick, and Lindsay was able to pick it off. So Lindsay now for Wonthaggi. Slow things up, but they come into the middle of the ground. Moe's just allowed them that area all afternoon. And nicely done by Anderson. His little chip kick goes towards the top of the 50. Going back with the flight was Bates. Ball comes out. He's been pinged for holding the ball or throwing it. And it will go Stanlake.
So Stanlake at centre half back, probably left half back flank, dances around 1, 2, and gee, a risky kick, and it's not going to come off, I don't reckon. No, it doesn't. And Wonthaggi goes through Darcy Brosnan, cakes the ball, but he's taken ball and all. And a good tackle gets him out of trouble. The tackle by Matt Pearce will ease the pressure for the home side. Well, when I say ease the pressure, they're trailing by 34 points, if you don't mind, as they go towards the outer side of the ground. They're outside defensive 50. So there'll be a boundary throw in around about 70 metres from Wonthaggi goals. It's been all the power in this third quarter. They've added 4 goals, 3, whereas Moe could only manage 2 points. And that was after kicking a goal at the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. So she's been a long, long time between drinks.
It certainly has, and Wonthaggi win the stoppage to go again. This guy's been busy. Hayes drops inside the forward 50. No one can mark. Long's back there. Quickly gets ball to boot. Tries to relieve some more pressure. And this at ground level. Wood slipped over. They jump on top of him over the shoulder. And Jacob Wood will have it.
Those free kicks are starting to bob up again, Nick.
It's 6 apiece for the quarter.
So Jacob Wood, 23 minutes gone. The margin currently sits at 34 points. Kicks it towards the wing area. Bray and Harris do duties there with the contest, but coming over the top with a nice spoil. Ball doesn't quite get out of that area in a quick stoppage, and Little, the umpire said, my ball.
Big stat for me this quarter, Pop, though. It's 20 marks to 7.
In favour?
Of Wonthaggi.
Yeah, they've dominated, haven't they? As I see Blair preparing to come back onto the ground again. Again, that's a good sign. He's been around long enough to know what he should and shouldn't do. So he feels comfortable enough to come back on despite that little knee scare. Ball with Stanlake, outer side of the ground, gives ground to Wood. He's been busy for most of the day, as he is for most of his career. Kicks to centre half forward, 40 metres out, punch to ground. Sim overruns it. Wonthaggi have the runners at the ball, and almost like a set play, they kick blindly, knowing that their teammate should be there. They were. They couldn't take the mark, and now it's going to be Van Dijk, who kicks to within 30 metres. They need Jack to do something. He's tackled as he picked up the ball. Hopefully the ball will stay in their area, or so he hopes.
And it doesn't, as it goes over for a boundary throw-in as Manuel. Like a rugby try.
That's the first time that Moe's gone inside 50 and haven't looked for Ferrito. The target's been Ferrito 3 or 4 times in this quarter. That's the first time they've gone for Jacks.
Well, we've got a free kick. I'm not sure why. It might have been in the back to Manuel because he was sort of diving towards the boundary line. So that's all I can think of. He quickly plays on. He kicks around his body. He bends it. It's not going to come back enough, and it's going to be over for another minor score. That's all they've managed to do in this third quarter is kick minor scores. A box up.
And on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard, it is Wonthaggi 8-8-56 to Moe 3-5-23.
Jones gets called to play on, goes towards Blair, and that's Jack. So Jack has it inside defensive 50. He's looking to handball over the top, with a little bit of run back to Jones it was, who just kicks away towards the wing area. Rennett's in front of Staley, and Rennett's hit it over. And for some reason, there's another free kick goes to Rennett's way.
So the outer side of the ground, Rennett's, Charlie, will kick along the line towards right half forward flank. It's a 50-50 contest, and with so many bodies around the ball, only Wood at ground level could get a quick kick out or a handball towards Sim. Sim gives to Stanlake, whose kick smothered. Nice smother too, and the pressure of Wonthaggi is relentless as a kick around the body towards left half forward flank. Thank goodness for Moe, falls in the hands of a key defender for the Lions, and Hayden Prestige is the player that Scud's pointing to for me, which I appreciate.
Oh, I don't think it was him. Sorry, mate.
Here they go now inside forward 50. Jack at the back, flies, gets hands to the mark and can't finish. But can this player, who just a moment ago had the opportunity to kick one, and Manuel, he can't across the face of goals. And if they can manage a goal somehow, somewhere, you'd give them some hope with 30 minutes to go, but they must goal right now.
Geez, you're an optimist, Poppy. I think this game is done.
33 points is the margin. Murray from the stoppage for Wonthaggi. Got boot the ball, didn't go too far. Here's Skinner. Drops back in. Right foot kick, not going to get the distance. And Bray takes the mark, top of the square. He's got some numbers on the outlet. They spread really well, do the power, and he got it towards Thomas. Can he handle over the top to a teammate? No, he decided to kick down the line to Harley. And I tell you what, Declan Kelty's just spoiled that, and it's gone over.
It's landed in Trafalgar.
Well, it's on the netball court at least, and Trafalgar's not that far away. No one knows where the ball is, but the netballers have just, they've finished up, and they wonder why the football's on their court.
So you've got 35 people looking at a footy sitting on the grass that's 10 metres away, and no one except the 3-year-old kids decided to get it.
He's just taken it, and he thinks it's his.
Yep.
And he's now he pops around, and the little fella.
Here we go.
He's got the ball in hand.
Come on,
he can
big
get
kick.
It back. He boots it. No, he just
hands it over. Good
hands
boy.
it over to the boundary umpire. 27 minutes gone. The margin currently sits at 33 points. It's Wonthaggi. They've kicked 4 goals in this third quarter to blow things apart. Moe haven't kicked a goal since the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. As the siren sounds for three-quarter time, it travelled 27.5 minutes, and the power just flexing their muscles at the moment. Both sides, 8 wins, 1 losses. As we go to three-quarter time, Wonthaggi 8-8-56, Moe 3-5-23. It's Gippsland Live for Harvey Norman Electrical. Scores for around the grounds for Harvey Norman Furniture Gippsland, making buying easy with delivery to Mallacoota and beyond.
And in the Gippsland League, Terrelgan 12-7-79 to Druin 7-5-47. Leongatha 12-8-80. They lead Sale 3-11-29. And Bairnsdale 9-9-63. They trail by 10 points to Maffra 11-7-73.
I can give you some Gippsland scores if you like, boys. Foster 15-10, Thorpedale 2-3, Tarwin 9-6, Mubu North 8-11, so just a point margin at the moment to Tarwin. And then you've got Stony Creek 7-8, leading Ballara 3-4, and Tura 5-7, Morwell East 8-12, Yunnan 9-3, and MDU 5-2.
Well, this last quarter is underway. Harris got the handle on it, tried to tap it back to his teammate. Working hard was Manuel, couldn't quite do so. Coxhead was in there, didn't have the football. Advantage will be paid from here, and it's Manuel driving it inside forward 50. Over the back, Van Dyke-Smeed moved forward for the last quarter for the Lions. Sim attacked it hard, kept it in front of him, then went to ground. Tries to stand up in the tackle, and the umpire said, my ball, and we'll ball it up. Only some 27 seconds into this final quarter. And I've got some North Gippsland scores that I'll get to in a moment. Manuel did the ruck duties, took it out of there, and then left it behind. There's a quick kick there from the ruckman, was able to kick it, and he's been pinged for deliberate, Lachlan Scott. Well, he was trying his best to clear the area, and he did have the boundary in mind, but it was a long way away. But the free kick now will go in the way of Lucas Fry, who they need something. As we said, he chips it over the top. Jacks was the target, but coming in and taking the mark was Tim Knowles, as Jacks just unloaded on him, and then Knowles just told him about it as well. So Tim Knowles, strong mark, hit hard, gave it back to Jacks, and he didn't reverse it, which was lucky. And he was able to kick it out towards Staley. Couldn't mark it, boundary, throw in.
Free kick behind for too high. We'll go Wonthaggi's way. We'll go to Jordan Staley, player just mentioned.
North Gippsland scores. Cowar 4-3-27, Trail Rosedale 17-9-1-11. Yarram 13-11-89 to Churchill 5-7-37. And TTU 27-17-179 to 1 straight 6.
Who are they playing?
Gormandale.
Wow. Okay, Wood has the ball here for Moe, and on his left foot, kicks looking for Sim. Can't find that player. Coming through nicely with Shannon Bray, as he's done for most of the day. They've just got numbers everywhere. Lockie Jones is one of those. Feeds off, and off they go again towards the outer side of the ground, and the Power are looking good. They've got a lead of 33 points. They're wanting to build on that too as they go looking for Harley, but Harris is cut in front of the pack. Got hands to the ball, dropped the head, didn't take the mark. Stanlake feeds it off. In fact, it was Kelty who went searching for and couldn't find a teammate. So still in the forward 50 of Wonthaggi, 2 minutes into this final quarter. On a beautiful afternoon for football, Wonthaggi have put up their hand as a real genuine premiership contender. There's no question about that. Moe haven't given it up, mind you, but they just haven't been able to go with them for periods of time. Sim lays a good tackle to keep the ball in the defensive 50, and he does that nicely. So another ball up to be put through. And it's done just that as Harris does some good work for Moe.
Yeah, Wood's been very serviceable. He got slung as he kicked the football. That's going to come back in for Wonthaggi. Kelty was held. No free kick there, which was okay. And we've have another ball up inside Wonthaggi's forward 50.
I mean, the concern for me is just that the number of Moe players that have dropped off since quarter time. So they haven't had a lot of winners since quarter time. And players like Seppi and Sim have just gone out of the game.
And Coach Lachlan Sim will want to show something in this last quarter, because I guarantee you these two sides will play each other at some stage in the finals. And if it's going to get blown out, 33 points at... it's a 33-point margin at the moment. If it gets blown out any further, well, there will be some questions asked. As the ball now is on the half-forward flank for Moe, but all numbers favour Wonthaggi. And Lynn's in the hand of O'Connor. He can kick it down the line, looking for Thomas. It goes over his head. Harris was there. Quick handball to Skinner. He tried to take on the tackler in Davey. His kick, though, goes towards the 1-on-3. The 3 does favour Moe. And it's a quick kick by McLeod. Now inside forward 50. Jax, though, he's gone down with a knee. This is danger. I think Jax is done. His right knee collapsed underneath him. And this is a serious, serious injury for the Lions, as Blair had it, kicked it out of bounds on the full. Jax has done a knee, boys. I saw it go.
Does not look good, Scott.
Nope. It was a right knee, and it was horrible. He went up. He tried to come down on it, and straight away you could just see it give way. And it's just one of those awkward movements. And that is not what the Moe Lions wanted.
And you know when he's done it, when he's grimacing in pain, you can see how much pain he's in, and his body language. As soon as he hit the ground, he knew that he had something done serious.
He grabbed it straight away, and
they're waiting for the stretcher by the looks of it. So they've got that out, and they're calling for it right now. So
has he got a history of knees too? I think, has he or not?
Not sure. He has, obviously, being an ex-AFL footballer, and his career was cut short, but whether it was delistings or injuries, I'm not sure, Boxer. So both sides now come together. We're going to have a little bit of a hold up here as the stretcher comes out onto the ground. And Wonthaggi huddle themselves inside their forward 50, and Moe get their huddle going inside the centre square at 5-minute mark. But the game has just stopped at the moment.
I might just go through some updated scores in the Mid-Gippsland Football League, guys, because I've got some updated scores. The game between Fish Creek and Newborough, played at Fish Creek's home ground. Fish Creek 14-12-96, Newborough 4-3-27. They've got that game in hand, as have Foster in their clash with Thorpedale. The Tigers at home 15-10-100, Thorpedale 2-3-15. This is the interesting one. Mooboo North desperately have to win. Tarwin do as well to claw their way to give themselves an opportunity in the top 6. Guess what? Scores are locked away. 10-6-66, Mooboo North 9-12-66. Stony Creek have still got a 4-goal buffer over Ballara. Stony Creek 8-8, Ballara 4-5, Tura 5-7, Moore East 8-12, and Yanar 10-5 lead MDU 6-7.
And Jax didn't need the stretcher in the end, but he's very proppy and being carried off by 2 Moe trainers.
See what happens in this situation, Scott, too. I know you've had knees in your past, and so have I. I've been in that position quite a number of times. The initial pain is there, it's the shock and everything else, and then everything
just relaxes a bit,
and then it goes away.
And then you
goes
check
away, and then tomorrow you wake up and you can't straighten.
And you can't move.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So sad scenes as we're about to get things underway. Boxer's got a couple of scores for us as well. We'll get to those in a moment. And from the last little area, it was a kick out of bounds on the full. So Scott Van Dyke has a free kick, drives it to the top of the square. It's a great-looking kick, got right to the last line. But Shannon Bray got a fist up and put it through for a minor score. So we had about a 2 or 3 minute delay there, so it's a minor score to start proceedings.
And on the Harvey Norman computer scoreboard, it's Wonthaggi 8-8-56 to Moe 3-6-24.
And Moe, of course, boys, I think haven't scored a goal since the early minutes of the second quarter, so over half a game of footy. As this time Sim comes in towards the corridor, Woods nearly stole it, couldn't, and again with numbers, Wonthaggi are able to get themselves out of pressure. Jared Blair, bottom of the pack, pushing the back.
No, hold the ball.
Holding the ball it is. So it's going to go Moe's way. Jared Blair's not happy, but didn't see the actual tackle as I looked down at my notes. But importantly...
No, he went one possession, but he went to ground and...
Manuel come
over the top and just it was a really good free kick in the end.
Okay, Cameron Manuel. He's had a couple of opportunities to kick goals today and hasn't taken them, but this is as good as any he's had. It's not on the right side for a right footer. It just needs a good kick, which it was, but it went across the face of goals and threw for a minor score.
Margin sits at 31 points now.
And on the Harvey Norman computer scoreboard, Moe 3-7-25. They trial Wonthaggi 8-8-56.
Kick comes back in from Wonthaggi. They get it out 60 metres away from home. Coxedge tries to make a bit of a play on it. Lost the handle of the football at ground level. Morrow puts a strong little bit of work on his opponent in Darcy Brosnan.
And we have a full-time score in the AFL too, Scud, thanks to Harvey Norman Furniture. And the Dockers big winners, 16-12, 108 to the Hawks, 6-10-46.
Nice little neat little kick from McLeod. Goes in towards Ferrado. Now he goes inboard to Seppi. He's a left footer. It's not a bad angle for him. He's on the near side of the Ted Summoner Reserve, the grandstand side or the change room side. But he has to kick at 55 metres, you'd think. And as they trail at the moment, it is a 31-point margin. Whips into a left foot. Does it come back enough for him? No. And it is another minor score. The margin sits at 30 points now on your Harvey Norman Computers scoreboard as they quickly play on. This is Fergus O'Connor.
So O'Connor towards the outer side. He's got a runner. Can he find it? I reckon he can. I reckon it's Josh Bates. So Josh Bates, right half-back flank, goes inboard. Nicely done to Tom Davey. Tom Davey plays on quickly. They're moving the ball sharply. Looking for Harley. Couldn't find that player. I reckon, in fact, it wasn't Harley. Maybe been Lenahan, actually. But I've been told by my old side here, Jordan Staley, third time lucky. Importantly, the ball now is with the field umpire. So 9.5 minutes gone, 30 points to the margin, favouring the visitors in Wonthaggi. We'll give you all the scores around the grounds in all the leagues that matter in Gippsland. As the ball's thrown up, plenty of numbers around that ball. Wonthaggi, as has been the case for most of the day, through Lindsay. Move it forward towards right half forward flank. Long. First player there for Moe. Coming through Davey. Can he keep it in? He can't. Free kick behind the play. We'll go Moe's way.
Stanlake will be the one to receive that free kick. He looks to come inboard. No one there. Has to go down the line with a long bomb. And that's been the play all day as Kelty's gone forward. Takes a nice mark at half forward. He wants to play on quickly. He comes inboard with a kick. They would try a little bit of extra. Coxedge, though, had his arms chopped to win a free kick. Does he move it quickly as well?
5 free kicks to 1 this quarter. Moe's way.
Lots of numbers now have been able to get back as Coxedge had to go slow. He went out wide to his teammate. And a long kick from Prestige to the top of the square it goes. Kilty will in the front spot. One bite. Couldn't get it. Ground level. Nice little handball done from Bates. Relieving pressure. Knowles kicks it, but it's going to be picked off again. And Hayden Prestige has it. The man on the mark stands at the top of the 50. It's Wonthaggi who lead at the moment by 30 points. Prestige goes again to Kelty. Couldn't mark it. And attacking and running out of half-back is Flynn Anderson. He tries to get it to the wing area in Staley direction, but Long was able to beat him to it and take the uncontested mark on the wing. 8-8-56 Wonthaggi. Haven't made any inway on that three-quarter time score. Moe a 3-8. Still haven't kicked a goal since this 2-minute mark of the second quarter. And we've travelled 11 minutes in the final quarter as Anderson has it for the Power.
So Anderson goes towards the outer side of the ground now. And the shine's come off this game, but tell you what, there's still a bit to be won. Remembering, of course, these sides play each other again in 5 weeks' time. Stephen Scott goes into the corridor, finds, and his teammate in Fergus O'Connor. So as much as this is about winning this game, he could use the opportunity also to find out a bit about your opponents, try some different matchups and see what might work and might not with, and basically use the old adage, run away to fight another day. And probably that's what I'd be doing if I was Moe coach at the moment. And I'd probably be taking some of my better players off if I was a Wonthaggi coach.
Blair has to come off, doesn't he, you'd think? The coach, Jared, he's had a sore knee. He's still out there, though, and the big news is on the Moe Kristen Jacks. As Moe go forward again, can Jacob Long get one? He gets onto the left, spins it around his body on the left and misses everything. And it's been one of those days for the Lions. The crowd isn't happy this afternoon. Box up.
No, they're not too. And I'm just watching some matchups down in Wonthaggi's forward line. Harris has now gone to Harley. So that's just one of those ones where if I was looking
having a look,
I'll be having a look for Harley every minute of the day.
Yeah, Shannon Braid plays on quickly, goes towards the outer side of the ground. Wonthaggi have got the run through Joel Little along the line. Can they find a teammate when searching for? Couldn't fight Staley. He fights hard to keep the ball in the area. Play on's the call. Quick kick forward by Moe, gains 20 metres. That was Tom Long, that player. It comes back, though, through Aidan Lindsay, and now I reckon it could be Josh Bates on the right half forward flank, outer side of the ground.
Boundary throw in.
My mate Daryl Cooling next to me, he's looking like Stevie Wonder playing the piano, pointing to the players with the ball. Your eyes don't improve as you hit your 40s, let me tell you. Get even worse when you're in your 50s. When you get close to your 60s, you can hardly see.
As Blair tried to bust through the stoppage, couldn't do so, and we'll do it again. Jacob Wood at the bottom of the pack as well. Essler wastes no time. The umpire to get it back up. Murrow got a hand on it. Wood's there. Just got boot to ball and spun it around and got it to half forward. Scott Van Dyke is twisting and turning, usually always pretty good with the football, and found Lucas Ferrado 49 metres out. He's too far out to score. Kelty's on a lead. Should get to him. If it gets over the top of the defender in Little, and it doesn't. And Joel Little goes back in front of the leading Kelty to spoil it over for a boundary throw-in. It's the little things, and it's the big moments thanks to Monticello.
Absolutely, Scud. Well called, mate, because that's exactly what they've done all day, Wonthaggi. Just those, the smothers, the intercept, spoils, not just the marks. It's just they're prepared to put their body on the line, and this is what it's got them in front so far for this afternoon.
Ball goes short, little kick. There's going to be a free kick the other way of the Lions. Shannon Bray doesn't like it. But again, they've done it all day, and it will go in the way. It looks to be Ferrado, I think it is, over the far side of the ground. It is.
The weird thing about this game is, let's just use an example that Moe might be able to put on 2 goals in the next 10 minutes. End of the day, they get beaten by 3 goals, and you think, gee, they must have been reasonably close. They actually really haven't looked like it since the end of the first quarter, have they?
No. Harry Sim got one of the 2-minute, 24-minute mark of the second quarter. And since then, they've kicked 7 goals of Wonthaggi, and Ferrado looks to get one here. Right foot shot on goal. It goes through the middle, and, well, for the first goal since 2-minute mark of the second quarter, Ferrado gets one for Moe.
And on the Harvey Norman Computers scoreboard, it is Wonthaggi 8-8-56. They lead Moe 4-8-32. And it's just that little sniff now, Poppy, as you said. That goal there gives Moe a little bit of confidence. You never know.
Stranger things have happened. I just can't think of one at the minute. But
we've averaged 28-minute quarters for the last 3 so far.
Quality stat there.
Yeah.
So they've got plenty of time. 13 minutes to score 4 goals. Like the old Lee Matthews theory was 14 goals can be scored in that time.
Absolutely possible, but unlikely. But here we go. The next goal obviously is going to be an important one, and importantly, Moe get the free kick. Not sure what it was for, because I thought Wood dove into the contest.
He has been great this quarter.
He's been good, Wood. So kicks to within, that's a good Wood, and he kicks to within 30 metres. Need a winner at ground level. Morrow, nicely done. Picked up again. They've got the numbers around the ball. Free kick.
Yeah, it was hold the ball. Yeah, hold the ball.
We'll go Wonthaggi's way. A player with the ball is Stephen Scott. SS along the line. Leads on from Harley over the top. Nicely done. Picked off, though, by Baldy. He's dispossessed, and it edges forward through Lindsay. And here we go. They can bounce back really quickly through Hayes. They find a winner deep into the pocket, and it's Anderson who takes a good, strong mark. Plays on quickly from the impossible angle. He manages a behind, which, given the angle, was a good result. Not sure the playing on was the right decision in hindsight, but they get another behind. They do Nick Lucino.
And on the Harvey Norman Computer scoreboard, Wonthaggi 8-9-57 to Moe 4-8-32.
So Ben Maslin has the kick-in duties, as he has done most of the afternoon for the Lions. Been okay down back, and he plays on. He goes to the far side of the ground. Right foot boot clears the 50 easily. Big pack form. No one can mark it. Wonthaggi got some numbers at ground level. Jones got it backwards to his teammate there in O'Connor. Quick handball across to Lindsay. His kick goes inside forward 50. The target was Staley, couldn't mark it, and Brosnan roved it over the boundary line. Boundary throw-in, 17 and a half minutes gone. Moe have got the only goal in this quarter at the 15-minute mark. The margin, well, it sits at 25 points. But Wonthaggi have been in total control all afternoon, pretty much since quarter time. And a strong tackle from Blair. And the umpire this time lets it go. Blair goes again at the ground level. And sometimes they pay him and sometimes they don't. Ball up top of the 50. Wasting no time. They do it again. Morrow got a handle on it. Manuel's there. This is Blair. Jared kicks it straight up and down. No, not 15. So play on, said the umpire. Sim was good. Tight in the traffic. The old 1-2 handball from Manuel back to Sim. Kicked it to the top of the 50. Oh, Bray just dropped the mark. It bounced off his chest. Allowed Van Dyke to come in. Kick around his body from 49. It's bouncing. Bounces up in the air. It allows the defenders to come in and see it through for a minor score in Fergus O'Connor. Minor score, the margin sits at 24 points now in favour of Wonthaggi.
So Fergus O'Connor to bring the ball back into play. He's got options left and right, and probably left was his better one, but he can see one deep on his right, so he goes searching for that one. Probably wasn't his best one in hindsight because, again, Moe, you're going to win the ball with the turnover. They do it nice. Wood's fighting hard, as you can expect him to do. He hunts the ball like no other in the comp, but he can't beat the boundary on this occasion. So on the outer side, forward 50 and boundary intersection, there'll be a boundary throw-in. 18.5 minutes gone, 24 points the margin. The visitors, Wonthaggi, will put a bit of breathing space between themselves and Moe as we head closer to the finals, the business end of the season. Ball thrown back in, ground level, players from both sides, handful from both sides, fighting hard for the contest of the ball. And the umpire will end up winning out and again, balling this one up right on the arc of 50 on a 45-degree angle from Moe's goals. Wood takes ball. He's taken equally as quickly. And the umpire will again take two. They gain a metre to Wonthaggi. Ball up 1 to 2. Quick little handball. Gives it off to Manuel. Right foot snap for a long way off. In fact, goes out of play on the full. So that free kick will go to Moe. And I reckon it could be Kelty that stands the mark as the Power bring the ball back into play.
They chip it over the top, and that was Scott goes over to his teammate back there.
I don't know how Paul Carter does this.
As O'Connor has it, drives it out towards the far side of the ground. Kilty over the back had to spoil in the end. It was Skinner, in fact, and now the umpire will call a stoppage. And my ball, just a quick one. Warragul looking for their first win of the season. They currently lead the Tigers by 9 points, who got within 3 points. But Warragul just got the last goal. So we'll keep those scores coming out of Western Park. Warragul searching for their first win of the season against the Tigers. And there's a couple of other good games happening as well we'll keep you up to date with. So Wonthaggi from that stoppage through Jones. That long going back with the flight takes the mark on the wing, unopposed in the end. And Tommy Long quickly gets called to play on, kicks it towards centre-half forward. Kelty's gone forward because, as we said earlier, Jax has gone off with a knee injury. And taking on the tackler there was Fry. No decision was paid. The Wonthaggi coaching staff in front of us can't believe it. And Jones decides to kick it out of bounds on the full. So Moe go again, and they're, well, Wonthaggi aren't happy with the umpiring at the moment.
They've probably had 70% of the play this quarter, haven't they? They just haven't been able to thrust through that Wonthaggi defence at the moment.
Skinner got it in towards Reese. Went high and then had to go ground level. Good hands by Kelty. Got it back towards Seppi. He squeezed a handball out somehow. It missed Sim, and it goes over for a boundary throw-in.
30 metres from Moe's goals. Handful of minutes to go, you'd think. We've played 21. And Moe 4-9. They're stuck there. Wonthaggi 8-9. They don't look like adding to that just at the minute as Moe apply the pressure around the goal. Woods has ball. He's taken ball and all. The umpire says, no time to pay that particular free kick. So 30 metres out from Moe's goal. He's doing another ball up.
Doing everything he can to urge his side on, isn't he? He just throws himself ahead at it all the way. He's trying to lead by example. He just hasn't got enough mates.
100% he gives. Morrow taps it down. Wood's trying to get on the end of this, as is Sim. But there's no room to move in there. She's pretty busy.
Scores all locked up at Western Park in Warragul. The Tigers and Warragul are a draw. Game still going.
The Moore kicked 2 goals in.
Scoreboard operator might have some issues down there at Western Park.
I'm thinking they kicked 9 points. It was 1 minute ago.
It's going back and forth, and I'm not sure anyone knows what's going on. But
including you, Darryl, I think.
Yep.
Well, Ballara are surging back at Stony Creek. They now trail by just 8 points. Mooboo North have just got a 1 point lead over Tarwin at the moment. And are 4 goals, not quite ahead of MDU, who are starting to make a comeback as well.
Well, you haven't missed anything here. We've had 3 stoppages within the space of 30 seconds, and we've ticked over to 22.5 minutes. The margin still sits at 24 points at the moment. as Morrow does a ruck duty with Scott. Scott trying to work him out of it, and a free kick will be paid to Moe. And, well, it's 24 points, 22 and a half minutes. Trent Baldy will be the one with the football in hand. He's a nice field kick. What's he like at kicking goals? Now,
Well, they call him Kitten here.
Do they? Kitten?
At Ted Summit and Return, yes.
Kitten.
Kitten, yeah.
All right, let's... we won't go into why they call him Kittens, or Kitten, whichever way, but he runs around on the right foot from about 45. Has it got the accuracy? No, it doesn't. He tried that little bit extra distance, and it's away for a minor score. Paul Carter.
Paul Carter. Hang on, Paul, you there? No, it's on the Harvey Norman computer scoreboard, and it's Wonthaggi, 8-9-57. They trial Moe. They lead Moe, I should say, 4-10-34.
Warragul 6 points in front now of the Tigers.
So the dying minutes of all of these games, some interesting results destined to take place as Fergus O'Connor runs the ball out of defensive 50, went searching for, couldn't find the big fellow. In fact, there's been a push in the back against Wonthaggi, and it'll fall the way of Charlie Renitz. So Charlie Renitz with a 50-metre long punt inside forward 50, looks for, can he find Kelty? He can't.
Free kick.
Free kick paid. Go Kelty's way, will it?
Yep.
Free kicks 11-2 this quarter.
Here we go, top of the square. They're outnumbered. Good contest, though, in the air. Falls to the ground. Moe have been beaten here for most of the day. The small men of the power have been pretty busy. It's Bates who clears the area, but a good mark by Stanlake. Took the ball, but didn't realise that the call was play on, and now the umpire will take control. And when I say take control, he'll ball the ball up. 60 metres from Moe's goals in front of the can bar. 24 minutes gone. They trail by 23 points to Moe, but they're going to go forward again through Stanlake. A torpedo from a standing start to within 30 metres. Right at ground level, they need Sim. Sim's taken high here, and he'll get the free kick. He got himself to where a good roving player should. That's at the fall of the contest. Took the ball, but got taken ball and all.
12 free kicks to 2 as Darcy Brosnan comes off looking a little bit sore.
Scott, I've just had a couple of messages to try and tell me why they call him Kitten, but I probably can't repeat some of those reasons why.
Soft and cuddly, I think, were the words.
I would have thought that as well.
So Harry Sim directly in front. Margin is 23 points. We've travelled 24 and a half, make it 25 minutes now as Sim comes in. Much needed goal. He's got one this afternoon as Sim from 40 metres puts it on its way. It starts right, comes back, goes through the middle. Moe got 2 in the last quarter. Sim's got another one. Are they a chance, boys?
No, they're not.
They're not. No,
that scoreboard will be respectable at the end of the day, but it won't be a true indication, I think, of the dominance of Wonthaggi, to be honest.
And on the Harvey Norman computer scoreboard, it's Wonthaggi 8-9-57. They lead Moe 5-10-40.
They've just hung on. They've just hung on for most of the day, Moe, whereas Wonthaggi, always appear to be reasonably well settled.
So ball comes back to the middle, and Morrow goes up. Just had a photo being sent through from Warragul. I'll get to that one in a moment for you as Sim had it on the half-forward flank. And the Tigers have just kicked another goal. It's foggy conditions down there at Warragul. Fog has rolled in, starting to set in. Looks like an under-16 game. If you saw any under-16 games this morning, that's what it's like down there at Warragul as the Tigers get to within 6 points. But Moe go forward again. The top of the square it is. Declan Kelty was on the bottom of that. They dive on top of it. Free kicks this quarter box is super. It's just all one way in favour of Moe.
12-2, Scud. So it is definitely not balanced, but it's just the way it's been this quarter.
So 30 metres out from Moe's goals. They trail by 17 points. 26 and a half minutes gone. Can they squeeze one more out of a congested forward line? They try hard. A thump forward from Wonthaggi, taken without the ball by Wood. Free kick, no, playing's the call. Wood fights hard. He's a go. You love players like that in your side. And keeps the ball in the area. One of the best hunters of the ball, I reckon, I've seen in a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, you'd think that there'd only be 1 or 2 minutes left in this game.
Morrow contests the ruck with Scott. Who's going to get first opportunity at this? Down the bottom of the pack was Mitch Hayes. The speed of this game is well and truly gone. In fact, it became a bit of an arm wrestle from about midway through that second quarter after a really entertaining first 30 minutes. Free kick's going to go Moe's way again for holding. It's going to go the way of the big man. I reckon that's Benny Morrow.
Yep, 17 points the margin.
So with the kick here, with the siren ready to go at any time, Morrow can put them within 11. and they'll probably walk away thinking, gee, I don't reckon we played that well, and we got within 2 goals.
Yeah.
So there's different ways you can look at this contest, but Morrow still has to kick this goal. It's going to take one of his best, 45 on a 45, off the boot. Bit of height to it, might not make the distance, I don't reckon. Oh, Stanlake, I reckon at the back. Kelty it is. Well done. He'll quickly go back, take the kick. He does all of those things, and he kicks a goal. We should be more excited, but I reckon the heat's gone off this game for a little while now, and the scoreboard, although 11 points, the difference is probably, as I say, a compliment to the home side.
And on the Harvey Norman computer scoreboard, we see Wonthaggi 8-9-57. They lead Moe 6-10-46.
Mind you, if they can get a goal in the next 12 seconds...
they might be a chance. Christian Jacks went off at the start of the quarter. Start of the quarter or in the third?
Yep.
And since then, they've kicked 3 goals in a row. They've had different avenues to goal. And, well, they're back to within 11 points. They win the clearance again. They get it towards half forward. They got something left in them. Time might just about beat them. Good work from the halfback. Lindsay was there, gave it to Hayes, got it further afield in towards inboard of the big fella in Bates. And we have a boundary throw in right in front of us. The Tigers trail by 5 points at the moment. The ball is inside Morwell's forward 50. Warrigal are looking for their first win of the season, and the Tigers are coming late. Davey tried to crash his way through here at Wonthaggi. And for Wonthaggi, this is, of course, being played at Ted Summitt Reserve in Moe.
Centre clearance is 5-0 in favour of Moe this quarter.
Well, up they go again. Morrow got it down. Siren not too far away. Davey tried to handle it through. Here's Blair. Tried to get it up to his brother in Jack. Both overran it. Morrow at ground level. Just getting a handle on it there was Noah Anderson. There's a Moe player down. It's Harry Sim. He looks to sit up and be okay as another stoppage occurs, and Sim just shrugs off the trainer as he has to get there out of there. It's a bit of a stoppage. Good work there by Bates. He's been busy this afternoon. Umpire said no opportunity. And it'll be my ball. 29 minutes and 3/4 gone.
Oh, we had a little bit of time with Jacks as well, didn't we?
We did, yep. So we reckon a couple of about 3 minutes or so. We might get to about 31. And a big no strong mark. Play on, said the umpire. It's inside forward 50 for the Lions. Van Dyke was in there trying to get something happening. Kick around the body. This one was from Hayes. Only as far there as Bates. Gets close to the boundary line now. Now Baldy. He puts it back inside forward 50, but Bray will take the mark for the power. Just to slow things up, and you'd say that could just about be it, Pop.
He's done that pretty well today, Bray. Just managed to find himself in the right spots. When quick kick forwards or even, calculated moves forwards have entered the forward 50 for Moe. He's been in the right spots for most of the day. One of the better players, from my mind, anyway, during the day. No frills, just does the job. Ball out of play, out of sight of the ground, 65 metres from Moe's goals. They trail by 11 points. We've played 30 and a half minutes, if you don't mind, of this final quarter. Moe's still applying the pressure, but maybe some of it's their good work and Wonthaggi thinking that they had it won 20 minutes ago. At the moment, I tell you what, they haven't given up the ghost, though, Moe. Give credit where it's due, and it's inside forward 50. They're still laying tackles that matter. Just trying to find some room to move, and they can't. Just at the minute, the umpire, you think, will take control. He does just that.
What it does do, it does set up the next encounter as an interesting one, because Sim would have given him, his team, a bit of a cracker at three-quarter time. They've responded, and now they've just got to fix the middle part of the game. So he knows they've got something there. He's got a big injury to come out of the game, but they've got something there that can match it with the side. As you said, has Wonthaggi taken the foot off the gas a little bit? Perhaps, but Simmy won't worry about that. He'll focus on what they did in the last quarter. The siren sounds right on cue, and this game is all done. It is Wonthaggi getting the chocolates in the end. 8-9-57 over the top of Moe, 6-10-46. The margin got to 11 points at the end, and he was in favour of Wonthaggi. He was set up by a Troy Harley kicking expedition this afternoon. He got 4 goals, and he was a focal point for 3 quarters and a bit, and he got the job done. It was a great performance. We're going to wrap things up here from Ted Summitt Reserve. We're going to send Poppy out.